We are live.
There it is.
All right. Hello. Hi, that one guy that watched us last time.
That was pretty cool, though. He was pretty into it.
And nobody,
Whoever that was.
nobody knew him.
No,
not that I'm aware of.
we got to do a better job of watching the chat because he was there a long time before we realized he was there.
Yeah, let me. I have it open on my other screen here. I'm
going to do the same, but then it's going to go to sleep and I'll forget about it.
Yeah.
It's just I get confused because then I'll start looking at the video.
I don't want to listen to
Just keep
myself.
there we go. I'll just keep it here. So I can
Silence.
wish I could hide the video because that throws me off. Because it's behind.
Oh, there's my dumbass face. All right, cool.
All right, you on there too? Let's double team the chat.
Yeah.
Double little DP on the chat.
I'll take it from behind.
That's a triple banger.
So we're live. We have 2 viewers. All right. Hey, Scott. I hear you're viewing. I'm viewing as well. Oh, no. What, did you leave the chat already?
No.
Oh, now it only says 1 viewer.
Oh, I don't know then.
I'm still there. Well, I don't know. Whatever the case may be. We are live. And I think we have a good idea of where we're going with this episode, I think.
Sure. We're going to go straight into politics.
And we are. Politics, all that good stuff.
We're going to talk about a poo.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
A poo? From
The Simpsons?
Okay.
Yeah. We'll wait till we get there.
All right. Sounds like it's good. Does that have something to do with last week's episode, or is it?
Nope. It's breaking news as of I think yesterday.
Yep.
All right, we'll talk that. Good. That'll be breaking for me as well. Let me just do one thing here.
Can you not pop out the chat? There you go.
Hashtag shit.
Move my head. There we go. There we go.
Oh wow, my computer's so fucking slow.
All right. And you got a bottle tonight, Brandon. So I have a can. So I'll crack. That's how we'll do the 5-second lead in. I'll crack the can. And then Scott, if you want to bring us in, we can do that.
You're supposed to crack the can at the what do you call it, aren't you?
The what are you drinking thread?
Yeah.
Oh, but that's marks the official. That's fine. That'll mark the official.
I already opened mine. I jumped the gun.
Whatever.
Oh, we also have to talk the Halloween movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
I'm sure that was going to come up anyway, but yeah. I forgot that we were supposed to talk about that.
It was supposed to come up, but I completely forgot about it until you just said it. It wasn't in my.
I did not forget. Boom.
There we go. Good job, Brandon. I'm just pouring my shot, aka half a glass here. I brought the bottle down with me.
Oh shit! I don't have a shop.
There's not.
I have like a bottle and a half of Fireball at my house right now. It's dangerous.
That is dangerous.
I don't know why I brought it down because I know we usually halftime it and I go pee and I can damn well pour another glass, but whatever it may be.
I'm getting out of there. I'm not. I think this is slowing my computer down. My computer fucking sucks. All right.
When you're out of it, when you're ready, you know what? I'm going to start recording, and before we do that, I can pause. So, like talking, so I just want to make sure it's all set up. Like I was saying, I forgot how to do this, so I want to make sure it's working. So, I'm starting the recording now.
Okay. Do you need me to speak?
Yeah, speak. I want to see if
is everything coming up. You all good? It's all. We recording this fine establishment.
Brandon, do you want to?
What's happening? How you doing? You doing well? Good.
All right, that looks good.
Everything good?
It looks like we are recording safely, so we can always get the video. We know that after, but let's take that 5-second pause.
Right. Oh, who's bringing it in, me or you?
Whatever. Do you want to do it or you want me to do it? I can do it.
I'll do it. It's fine.
All right. So we're going to take 5 right about now.
Ooh, spooky! Welcome to episode 19 of the Unknown Podcast. Yes, thank you. That'd be the Dark Tower themed episode. 19. No, you guys get it?
No.
No? All right.
No, it's been a while since I've read those books.
Yeah, my bad. My shitty joke just got worse. So I brought that in real good. So welcome. We skipped a week. I skipped a week of editing, and here we are. We finally did it again. This week we're gonna try and keep it as Halloween themed as possible, since Halloween is only a few days away.
I don't know.
This week,
Quite long.
oh yeah. So this week it's the original podcast crew, the OGs from the day ones.
This
You know who they are.
Podcast.
You know who they are. We got Brandon here.
What's up?
We got the Smooth Meister here.
Oh, what's up? Yeah, I
And of
have.
course,
Shit.
yeah, you did a good job there. I thought there was an actual wolf in there with you.
Could be something down here in this
I
basement.
was worried.
Yeah, I'm pretty scared. I'm spooked. So and of course I am Scott, your undying host. I don't know if that was a zombie thing or not. I really don't know. I just kind of
You stole that from Blaze.
So
What?
Blaze. You stole from Blaze.
yes, we're going full Juggalo again. Why not?
Damn it.
Oh yeah, we got to speak on Juggalo. Anyway, before we get into any of that shit,
But we are gonna
we gotta
get
get. Oh yeah, I'm sure we got another
Part two.
epic smoothie rant.
coming in. Nah, I'm gonna try and keep the ring. No, they're good. They're good.
Anyway, let's go around the room. What are we drinking, fellas?
We are to officially open this bad boy up. We're gonna. Oh shit! I got that Old English 800 in the can.
Oh shit!
The last one from July. This is probably gonna taste nice.
Oh my god! Why?
Because I need to get it out of my damn refrigerator. I was gonna.
You got a toilet, don't you?
Yeah, it's fine. I can't waste. I can't waste the liquid gold. But I do have a 40 upstairs, but I wasn't going that route
Why?
because I don't.
This is the Unknown Podcast. You're supposed to go all out.
Next on.
How we do it.
I'm going to save
All right.
it for the next one. So
All right, fair enough.
holding.
Up next.
Brandon, what are you drinking?
Oh, I've got a bottle of Yingling.
Oh shit!
Hell yeah. That's all that was in my fridge, and I didn't feel like going and buying anything.
Did you open it?
So,
Let's hear the open. Did you do
I
it?
already drank half of it, yeah.
Ah, fuck it.
Yep.
You broke protocol here.
That I did.
Well, I've got a Southern Tier Pumpkin Imperial Pumpkin Ale.
That is one of
Not
the
bad,
best beers ever made.
It's so good, and I had to go Halloween themed here, so I'll do this here. No, I won't. Oh my god,
oh man, fail.
I fucked this up. I don't know where I got this bottle opener from, but I don't know how to use it.
You could open it with your
Yeah. I didn't get any pumpkin beers at all this year. I screwed that up.
And speaking of screwing it up, Jesus
You
Christ!
know what? We sell that at Giant. And I see a lot of people buying it, but I look at the price tag. It goes
Oh, it's expensive. Yeah,
$14.50. I was like, I'm good. I got the
You
old
gotta get one. You gotta try one.
it's 8.6% alcohol by volume, so you only need. There's 4 of them. You only need that.
No, what I really want to try, and it looks good, and a lot of people get it. I see walking away. You guys probably already have had it. The Trogs, the Perpetual IPA.
I've not.
Oh,
I've seen them, but
that seems to be like the biggest seller that walks out of our coolers there. I see a lot of people getting them. Like, this must be good.
it's pretty local to you, isn't it? Trogs.
I believe so. I
Yeah,
believe
that's probably why.
where that one is.
You should definitely get a pumpkin though. It is expensive, but you should get one. They are really good.
Next week before it disappears.
They'll probably go on sale in a week or two. So
Yeah.
if
A
you're
couple-
still feeling festive,
Yeah, a couple years ago, the Dogfish had pumpkin one. Like after Halloween, like all the stores around me had like skids of them that were on sale for like $2 for a 4-pack.
Oh,
hell yeah.
I bought a bunch of them. I still have some in the pantry. I don't ever want to drink it again now, though.
Yeah. We just already started getting in like the Mad Elf and like some of the like winter.
Oh yeah.
It was like,
Yeah, the Sam Adams Winter Pack is already out,
crazy.
which I enjoy.
But it moves quick, man. We didn't even have Halloween yet. I'm just saying.
No.
Man,
Yeah,
Well,
these
fall
whole-
beers came in like beginning of August.
That's true. They've been out, for a while. I
Yeah.
give you that. It's just funny when you see it. You look over and people are asking for these Halloween beers or these pumpkin beers, and then all of a sudden they see what was the other one? We got Mad Elf and New Belgium, the accumulator or something. I think it's called. That's like, that has snow on the box. I want to see snow.
Yeah. But wait till Halloween is over, and I don't know. I think they do the fall beers too early.
They definitely do.
I'm
not a fan. How dare you? Stick to the seasons.
Yeah.
Beer companies.
I think a lot of that has to do with like how on trend, I guess you would say, Halloween and this time of the year is with all the pumpkin spice stuff. I mean, that stuff starts coming out like the end of July. You start seeing pumpkin spice stuff and freaking girls with leggings and Uggs on and those basic bitches,
You fucking tell them, Smoothie.
Anyway, speaking of telling them, we didn't do our shot yet, so we should officially kick off the show. Who you don't have a shot, Scott?
No, Scott has no shot.
Damn.
You should fucking pound one of those pumpkins.
Yes,
I'll take another sip for you. Sure.
All right, that works too. We're not doing it.
I got a fireball and it's in Das Boot.
Damn right.
I got my standard this glass, but I have the
3 shots worth of there.
Yeah, it's all good.
That fireball.
It's the fireball. Cheers.
Cheers, clink.
Clink.
Oh, it's a hell of a shot. Yeah.
Scott, you said you edited down our last show some.
Yeah, there's a lot of awkward pauses in that one.
How'd that go? Like, did it save
it took me
time by doing it?
Probably
runtime.
Well, I had to cut out a lot as it was because I ripped the YouTube video, so I had to take out the first probably 5 minutes and probably about another 5 minutes in the middle. But I still probably cut it down another couple minutes.
Okay.
Maybe not that much. It took me a long time to edit that one. Yeah, I was wondering if it was worthwhile, but I just felt like when we were recording, there's a lot of gaps in talking.
Gotcha. Right on.
So that was the price of asking Tags a question. He couldn't do it.
He didn't answering the question. You're right.
No. So should we get straight into the Juggalo talk there, Smoothie? You've got a couple of topics here.
I want to kick off that episode because the last episode I was on was
the Juggalo one.
Juggalo episode, which was a good one. Like I was saying at the beginning of the show, the top of the show. I don't know if I had it on tape here or not, or just in the live stream. We will be doing a part 2 of that. I mean, there's so much stuff we could have included.
Episode 34.
30, there we go. We'll double it up. Episode 34. Sounds like a good number. But I know, Kyle was just ready to talk. I definitely want to have him back on. He was definitely.
We're gonna have to schedule that one early.
He was all set that night. He would have talked all night if we. He was ready for that episode.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do, in all honesty, for 2 is see how many former Inkers / Happy Keggers / whatever affiliation we could get on. Like, I think that's a good idea. Pretty cool because we were all juggling.
Who could we get realistically? Who could we probably get for that?
I know Amanda.
Yeah.
I could try to get Aaron, but you know how that goes.
Right.
Depends when we start, I guess.
Like a few people. Sherry, is that your name?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Midget Fox was her handle.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think her Sherry's her name. I see her on
Gotcha.
Facebook and different things. I'd like to get Bugsy on here. She was like the.
Yeah. She just got married.
Did she really? So you're still in the. Wow. She was 10 when
I know. I know. Yeah, she just got married a week ago.
That's awesome. Well,
yeah.
Howdy, Ink lore.
Happy wedding day, marriage stuff.
Whenever that was. Cheers.
Clear some spots on your schedule because you're coming on the Juggalo episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know there was a time where it might have been when we did one of the last episodes of Howdy Radio, we did that same kind of thing, like try to get some people on. And I think Bugs came on that one too. I'm pretty sure she did.
A couple different people for there, so yeah, it definitely can happen. We're gonna make that. I think that'd be fun to do.
Put the word out.
The whole crew. So I mean, we're giving you 17 episodes. Well, no, we've already done 2, so 15 episodes, which would probably be 2021.
We got at least 2 years before that shit happens again.
I think Luke and Steph would probably do it.
Yeah, it'd just be good to do that, like make it juggalo, but also like another.
Or maybe this should be 2 different things. Maybe one should be,
or just a true
episode 17 part 2, and then we do another special episode that's like a reunion of the old.
Yeah, there we go. We'll talk about, and yeah, just the message boards.
Episode 713.
Maybe we'll get this stuff, all ironed out where we can like share like stuff on the screen, like old signatures, old crap we can dig up and find through our detective skills. And
that's apparently like easily done. We've just never done it, right?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever made it happen.
No.
Right?
But it's not something that would be hard to do, because I have just like a whole folder full of like old files from back then. So
yeah, I mean, it's fairly, you're talking about like sharing in terms of sharing it on the actual live stream. Yeah, what did we do? We did that for one episode. I don't think that ever. I think that was the episode where it never happened. The 4-second one with Scott and I had shared a video. It was when Fergie had done the national anthem.
Oh yeah,
I had the video in there, and it was like laggy and everything, but that never came to fruition. That episode. Well, anything?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it was Scott bashing me, saying I beat kids.
It's not bashing you. It's just
telling the truth, telling the people what they need to hear.
That's right.
Fair enough.
So anyway, so you got two Juggalo topics to top this shit off with. Do you want to speak on Shaggy's? I mean, this is like 3 weeks removed now, but you still want to talk about it, I assume.
I'm talking about that for sure.
Yeah, it's to all of our listeners or possible listeners who may come across this, and who aren't aware, about 2-3 weeks ago, I guess 3 weeks ago now, Shaggy Two-Dope of the Insane Clown Posse attempted to dropkick Fred Durst during the middle of his set at the Rock of Ages tour, I believe.
It was a festival, the shittiest festival of 2018 from the looks of it.
I almost went to it. A buddy of mine at work went to it because he's a Limp Bizkit fan. I was like,
was that local to you?
It was in Camden, yeah, in New Jersey. So
it was in Jersey. That's right. Yeah, that's not too far from you.
Before that, he had said, he's like, ICP's going to be there. You should come.
Yeah, you should have went.
I should have, and now I'm kind of wishing I did. I would have stayed for Limp Bizkit. I don't mind.
Yeah, I would have been gone by Limp Bizkit. I would have missed the drop kick.
Would you have been breaking stuff? Do you think?
I would have, just because it would have been fun to see him and everything.
Yeah.
Live, and just because I paid money for a whole day.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Even
ICP and Guar, that was the only 2 that were on that lineup.
I would have definitely liked to see Guar live. That would have been interesting.
What a terrible lineup.
But
I can't even remember while you talk, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody else. I don't remember seeing anybody else on there that I would have.
Rock of Ages. Rock of Ages.
Other than
Rock of Ages.
I think something like that.
Isn't that a movie with Tom Cruise?
All right, maybe.
Yes, it is.
Is that a movie with Jack Black?
But I thought it was something like that. Something weird. What's the title? But out of them, it would have been ICP, Guar, and Limp Bizkit. I would have minded to see, but my buddy, first thing Monday morning, I went over to him because I know he's a Limp Bizkit fan, and he's like, I was right there. He was like 2 rows away from it. He's like,
hold on, did we explain to our listeners actually what happened?
Are you going to give the play-by-play commentary?
No, you need to fill them in, like paint a picture here of what we're actually talking about.
All right, so picture this. So how far back do you want to? So imagine this. Okay, so ICP is not the headliner of the show, which typically they're more, because of the Fago and stuff, they're more of a headlining thing. But since it was a festival outdoors, they went on earlier in the day, and the headliners were Limp Bizkit, in fact. Yeah. So they're up there rocking out, and apparently during the beginning or in the beginning of their set, they gave a shout out to ICP and War. Yeah, they said we love these guys because they did that song with them on the Mighty Death Pop. I forget what it was. It was a cover song. And
Bitch
then,
better have my money.
That's what? No, was that?
Yeah,
what it was?
that's what it is. Why am I echoing to anyone else?
Yeah.
No,
I can hear myself. It's throwing me off. Okay, we're good.
Yep.
But so we're doing their set, and during the
Rock Allegiance.
Rock Allegiance, that's what it was, not Ages. But during their performance of Faith, Limp Bizkit's performance of Faith, as he's finishing,
George Michael's,
as he's finishing up his
he
performance,
didn't come from the grave to sing it. Sorry, go on.
We have Mr. Fred Durst up there finishing out, trying to
whoa, Cookie Monster, what are you doing here?
His scream impression there, and then someone from the other side of the stage,
from the shadows,
runs on and attempts and unsuccessfully pulls off a drop kick to Fred Durst, barely touching him. And this individual is in flip flops, which is fantastic.
Fuck yeah!
To begin with,
that's more juggalo than flip flops.
And then it's later confirmed that it was Shaggy Two Dope of the Insane Clown Posse. So that next morning, I mean, let's just. What did you want to? Did you want to add something to that?
I was just saying, I'm reading an article right now. Violent J weighed in. He apparently it was just a goof blown out of proportion by the media, which I mean kind of makes sense. He's like, well, just wild style. Violent J tells the Orange County Register, Fred Durst is a friend of ours. You know what I mean? Just having fun. Things look so crazy and they get in the news wire. He obviously threw it as a fake thing. If he really wanted to hit him, I don't think he would have thrown a pro wrestling drop kick. Yeah. It probably would have looked a lot more serious and ruthless. He makes a valid point.
It does.
If he wanted to land it, he would have landed it.
And I think that's all that it was. Like it was more than a joke, but the way it did get blown up. But imagine, being a juggalo and or not a juggalo.
Just imagine being a juggalo.
Yes,
the fact that was a headline that day.
Yes, the morning after, I'm up in the morning in the bathroom doing my morning routine and
taking a shit.
Let's
just might as well just
scroll through Twitter while taking a shit.
As I'm going through Twitter and Instagram, and I see these memes of Shaggy drop, with his head superimposed on a wrestler's body, drop kicking Fred Durst. And I was like, what is this? And going to, I think Fega Lovers is where I initially saw it, and seeing these video clips of Shaggy Two Dope attempting to drop kick Fred Durst, Limp Bizkit from many.
He didn't put a whole lot of effort into it when you really watched it.
But a lot of people were like, well, I don't think that was really Shaggy, blah, blah, blah.
He's an imposter.
They performed earlier, but then like later on, a little clip of Shaggy Two Dope himself right before it, I don't know if it was an Instagram clip or where it surfaced from, where its origin was, but he said, I'm here to dropkick Fred Durst.
Aren't we all, though?
That was the confirmation right there. But yes, when you look at it, you see that clearly it's not a. If he wanted to connect, I mean, I don't care who you are. If you want to connect,
my buddy about it, and he was like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why was Shaggy still there if they like performed like hours earlier or whatever?
And backstage. I mean,
my response was, wouldn't you stick around a couple extra hours for the opportunity to drop kick Fred Durst?
Like, I mean, clearly, like I said, it had to be a setup, and maybe Fred did.
It was a setup. He's a fall guy.
Like, I don't think
in the wrestling world, it's called a work.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
I don't think
wrestling
Fred
terms
had any knowledge of it. I don't think
he did.
But I think when he realized who it was,
like most things,
obviously he dropped the charges and everything. But then DJ Lethal took it to a whole another level. Like
he got high or drunk or both or something, and took to Instagram and went fucking nuts.
And Fred Durst is like, no, it was just a joke. He was having fun, but what are you gonna do? He tried
DJ Lethal, bring it on.
he had
Sorry.
I mean he had flip flops on, but like that was like the greatest like headline to see.
I saw it on there's one that I follow on Instagram called WrestleBotch. That's just a bunch of messed up wrestle moves. And they posted a video of it, and they said it's not that Shaggy missed it, it's that Fred Durst didn't sell it.
Yeah.
That's how they framed it.
Because
Because you have a dropkick, you're supposed to sell it and act like it fucking hurt.
Yeah,
well, not from 20 feet away.
I mean,
it's really hard to sell that.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say that.
Sometimes
I don't want to say that.
Fair.
Shit, I'm not saying anything because I can't think. What was I going to say?
No, you want me to read the lineup while you think?
No. Well, hold on.
All right, sorry.
I just want to say if Shaggy like in all honestly, he not a stupid individual, will say, because if he really tried to and successfully drop kicks, like that would have been serious. Like I think he knows that if he's unsuspecting and gets a drop kick to the back of the head off the stage, Fred Durst
should have done some damage. Yeah.
I don't think he's that dumb that he would have let that happen, especially going on tour. You have to think of them. They're going on tour like that. Like that was just the Hollow Wicked tour just started.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have ruined that opportunity. So
with Clownvis Presley.
Wait. What?
That was who opened for them.
Yeah.
Is that on the tour?
On the Rock Allegiance tour?
No, on ICP's tour.
Oh yeah, Hollow Wicked. I thought you were going to find out the lineup of.
Oh, I did. I was just saying that when you were talking about them going on the Hollow Wicked tour, I was like, with the opener of Clownvis Presley.
Yeah. Have either of you guys by chance looked into the venue where they're actually doing the Halloween night Hollow Wicked show in Detroit?
No.
So they just announced it like a week or two ago, and I don't remember what the name was now, but I thought it was like a kind of weird name. So like I was like kind of curious as to what the venue itself was. So I looked it up, and it because it's in Detroit where all these fucking car places have all like gone out of business and shit. So it's this big place that used to be a gigantic Ford plant that got shut down like in the 50s. And now they've converted into like this big space, like with all these different concert halls and like art exhibits and shit. It looks cool as hell.
I was gonna say that's sweet as shit. That's awesome.
It looks awesome. So they've got like this whole venue where they've got like different rooms and shit for like different parts of what they're doing. It looks awesome.
Yeah, sweet.
But I want to hear the whole rock of.
Well, okay. So the cap of the night was Limp Bizkit, as we said, but then below them is Papa Roach.
No.
And then and then I don't know if I've actually listened to them, but I think I've seen them and I know they're garbage. Their name is Motionless in White. And then there's Skillet. Ugh.
I saw Skillet looking for somebody. They were terrible.
Yeah. Bullet for My Valentine, they suck. Of Mice and Men, they suck.
Yeah.
Beartooth, I don't know. The Fever 333, I don't know who that is.
No.
And then ICP, and then Guar and Fozzy.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm kind of iffy on who any of them are.
I'm such a big Chris Jericho fan, like in the wrestling world, but his music is like some of the worst fucking music ever made. Fozzy is fucking terrible.
Okay.
Usually celebrities making bands or celebrities, I should say, making bands don't usually turn out too great.
So it was a drop kick. It was something to go down. I think my favorite takeaway,
he's the one who went down.
My favorite takeaway from that is, I mean, that's why I stand by ICP.
Yeah, solidarity, my brother.
Just because of that. I mean, that's just on a Sunday morning when you read that headline, you just gotta give a huge, thumbs up.
I watched the video so many times.
I watched it a few times myself, just out of curiosity.
I watched it on loop just over and over and just laughed.
If you piece it together with him saying, "I'm here to dropkick Fred Durst," and then just go right into that, it's fantastic.
Pretty great.
The fact that he recorded himself saying it before, but the best, I think one of the best tweets or things I I think it was a tweet that I saw after it was. I forget that he tried to drop kick Fred Durst. I had to look at what year it actually was. You know,
Yeah. ICP and Limp Bizkit in the same headline. Yeah, this is not Woodstock '99.
Yeah, Woodstock '99. Played Woodstock '99.
But that I give that thumbs up to you, Mr.
Are you giving that a rating?
Yeah. I'm giving 2 thumbs up.
It's a thumbs up.
It's a smoothie approval
for drop kicking in a adjusting fashion. Fred.
Okay. Do you need more Fireball to get into the next bit of ICP news first? Or, are you gonna dive into it?
I'm gonna take a
Halloween episode or ICP episode. What are we doing?
Well, I'm hoping this is it.
We're gonna.
I just want him to talk. I don't give a single shit.
Guaranteed to be the next half hour of our lives.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, take another swig of that Fireball and get fired up.
When he was able to talk, I'm going to say, obviously the album was going to get pushed back. Everybody knew that, right?
We have to paint the picture. No, I was honestly. I mean,
he's a man of faith.
All right,
of ICP faith, I should say.
All right.
Sorry.
All right, let's
something that you never should have had from day one because they've never been consistent with their dates.
Ever, never.
I understand. I understand that, but let me step back. Let me paint this picture for you.
Paint the picture of them being fuck ups. Go.
So what we're talking about is the mighty 4th Joker's card of the second deck.
8th.
Fearless.
Or no, that would be like the 20th. I don't know how many.
No, it's not. Is it the 4th? Shit. Yes.
I don't know. You're the jug. You got all the juggalore.
4th card of the second deck. So Fearless Fred Fury. This has been
the 10th then.
Was it last? Have we been making fun of this name since last Hollow Wicked? Was that when they?
Whenever they release, whenever you told me it, because I don't think I knew it.
I think we talked about it on the podcast, so it might have been after that they find. It might have been Juggalo Weekend which is in February, coinciding with when we started the show.
Whenever the fuck it was, all I know is that the name was insanely stupid. I laughed at it the entire time we talked about it.
And the artwork is just as laughable.
That's fair.
It's even worse.
Yes.
Somehow the artwork is worse.
Whatever the case may be. So we were promised this 4th card.
Promised.
Well, here I want to go back. So it was supposed
to paint the fucking picture. Get the.
I'm painting
the brush out, man.
All right. So we were
dip it in shit and let's go.
Anticipating this card. It was supposed to. I'm going back to 2017, the year that the drama really started and everything. Well, no, prior to that, because Young Wicked was still with ICP and Twist.
It's been like 3 or 4 years now, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, that ain't got nothing to do with this album being released.
No, it does because there was an interview that Faygo Lovers did with ICP. They were on the Killjoy Club. They were doing the tour, and Young Wicked was there.
Young Wicked.
Violent J's like the next Joker's card coming 2018, and then they did the interview after all that stuff happened, still saying 2018. You would have figured they would have released it in 2017. 17. All that stuff.
No.
Doesn't happen then. So 2018. Okay, fine. They start releasing merchandise for it and gathering the Juggalos in the seminar. Fearless Fred Fury dropping October 26th, 2018. So Juggalo Smoothie 101902 gets all excited. Says yes.
Another shitty album.
No, Michael Myers makes his comeback October 19th. And then the next week I can celebrate the 4th card of the second deck. Fearless.
The mighty 4th card, as you would say.
Part 2.
Fearless Fred Fury. And then with proof of purchase, the Flip the Rat EP, which is a whole nother thing.
Which is even dumber somehow.
Whatever the case may be. This
a rat EP.
Honestly, this album, more Juggalo, more of us were more anticipating this album. as opposed to Bang Pow Boom and the Mighty.
Why is this one?
I gotta know what's so special
I
about
think
this.
with the deliverance, with the whole drama with Twisted, the whole separation, and
They haven't been part of any of this shit since. Have they even? Has Twisted even been part of the whole new?
But I think the concept of no, they were never. I mean, they were around for Bang Pow Boom. They were.
Is everybody waiting for like a Twisted diss song? Is that what it is?
Well, they already did one, didn't they?
Oh, did they? Okay.
They did it. Yeah,
that 6 foot, 7 foot one.
Yeah, they called out everybody in that one. But I think with the theming that they're saying, fight back, they were taking that as like want to be the most, like they said with Hell's Pit, like
they're doing that shit.
Everybody's not gonna, this is it. This is the album that's gonna blah blah blah, whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
selling it hard, and everybody, of course, took their own spin on it, thinking it'd probably be Twisted, with that whole stuff that's happening. Like they have some stuff to get off their chest, right?
So the moral of the story is here we are, October 28th, 2018, and there is no Fearless Fred Fury in my hand. Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's to pour more salt in the wound. It was a day or two before the album was supposed to come out is when they said, you know what, here's a new date. It's 3 months away, 4 months away.
February 19th, 2019.
AKA we haven't recorded a song yet.
So from the initial time that they did that first interview, it said you can expect that in 2018.
Yeah.
That was very early on in 2017.
All right, so Smoothie, listen to me, man. Jekyll Brothers got fucking pushed back. Dark Lotus got pushed back for like 2 fucking years. Like, it's been going on since like they have been around.
Remember when they announced the Wraith Shangri-La and they said this Halloween is Shangri-La, the following Halloween is Hell's Pit. Hell's Pit came out in August, like late August 2014 or 2004.
Right. It was supposed
2 years late, 2.5 years later, almost 2 years later.
Yeah.
And when they announced the date back over the summer, and then there was no single release, there was no promo stuff for it. They did nothing, no mention of it. Obviously, it was going to be pushed back. There was nothing that showed that they were ready.
This is their MO, man.
But back of my head, deep in the back of my mind, yes, I knew.
I get it. You still wanted it.
The jug of faith was there.
Maybe they were going for some like strict ninja tactics, and like all of a sudden, bam! Like a week before, they would start at least on their website start putting pre-orders up. Maybe they want to do something a little different.
Now they're waiting guaranteed 4 day for that.
But
I guarantee they haven't recorded a song yet.
I guarantee that is correct. Yes,
and that's fine. And whatever, it's not enough for me to like say, oh, I'm done with these guys, whatever. But it's like I don't know how wise that was. Like I don't know what's going on.
It was incredibly stupid. They waited till 2 days before to be like, oh yeah, by the way, this isn't coming out at all.
It's like
no other band does that shit like that. No. I mean, she gets pushed back all the time. That's not abnormal, but
it's like
every other band in the world.
Almost no warning.
But if you're gonna push back, like do something like, oh, here's a single that we have been sitting on. Like it's coming.
Well, they haven't been sitting on any music. That's it. That's why. That's why
they have whatever. That's neither here nor there. But
on Record Store Day, the pre-sale goes live, and there's a single coming out then. So they're like, oh, that'll give us like 3 weeks to record a new song.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or maybe,
sorry, Smoothie. We're ripping the shit out of this, but
no, that's fine.
It's true.
I'm just speaking from the perspective, like
the jug of heart.
Well, no,
at the same time, I'm not talking really shit about it either, because they've done this with all the albums that were fantastic too. So
I think what's different with like the other album, like I think they're really, and I don't know if it's Violent J or what's going on with Psychopath.
Shaggy's on the sauce and Jay's on pills. There you go.
Okay.
Breaking news.
All right. Well, that's what. Okay. Whatever. Aside from that, what I'm getting at is like the other times when you had stuff like that going on, like delays and stuff. Maybe not the Jekyll Brothers because they were still new, but like the Wraith and stuff, when you got like the later albums, the delays, you had like Twisted, you had other things you could release. But right now, there are other acts on Psychopathic, but you're not hearing anything from them.
Yeah.
So
They
this
already
is like,
released.
well, they really haven't. Like Ouija Mac released his album this year. Light released his album last year, and it was only an EP. And he hasn't even gotten
like so many releases one after another, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah. But you have, then you look to Magic Ninja, and you do have release that there's been at least a release a month. Whether good or bad, I'm going to find something. At least I'm having something new to listen to.
Yeah,
like House of Crazies.
Yeah, that's coming.
That little tape box that you got looks awesome.
Yeah, and I definitely can't wait for that to come in. Yeah,
When does that release?
December is when it's supposed to ship. So
You should either do an unboxing video on your own or do it on the show, one or the other.
maybe I will do that. That's definitely.
Did you listen to the new? There's 3 new House of Crazy songs that they did for their.
I did. They've just released an EP, like
Yeah.
an EP, and they had a couple of remixes or.
Yeah, but they had like 3 new House of Crazy songs.
They were pretty good.
That first one had like this really, like it sounded like 1995 House of Crazy shit.
It was, yeah, they were good songs. I liked.
It was like a sequel to Nosferatu or something. One of them.
Nice.
It was, yeah.
It's actually not. I was shocked how much I actually kind of liked it.
It was on Spotify. Because they did a good job. Like I remember you had said, "Oh, new House of Crazies," in that message we were sending around. Then I listened to it on Friday, and realized that because the EP actually released on Friday, and I realized that the whole majority of it was House of Crazies. I think the first 4 songs, and then there's 3 other, 2 from last year, 2 Fright Fest singles, and Green Pumpkins, which is an older song.
I'm kind of shocked they didn't release that tape thing that you pre-ordered for Halloween, because House of Crazies is mostly Halloween songs.
Yeah.
That's true. I wonder why
They have like a whole album dedicated to Halloween, don't they? It's like Season of the Pumpkin or some shit like that. I don't know.
So the new songs are just the original 3 people of House of Crazies then?
Yeah, the ROC is on that.
Cool.
But what I liked about the songs, because I was saying is, it sounded like they did work on like the audio, obviously the quality, but it made it sound like it was from.
Yeah, like the very first one I heard sounded exactly like old House, like
However
they belonged on that. Yeah, like a weird beat.
Whether it was the production or how like how they actually recorded it down at like that time frame, like they back to the time. That's why I was like, are these new or are these old? Or these ones I missed? But
yeah.
So
why am I not seeing this on Spotify? Did you say?
You have to search HOK.
No, or Twisted. If you search Twisted,
or them, yeah.
It's the or Trick or Treat EP.
Is that the official name of the band? HOK.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Twisted and HOK are like listed on the track, but you can find it under Twisted. I think Twisted is Twisted Presents Trick or Treat or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the name of the EP.
Death for anyone who.
That's one.
Yeah, it's a long name.
Is that the only thing that's on here?
There should be a whole EP there.
There should be Trick or Treat is the EP.
Gotcha.
Excuse me.
7 songs.
Well, that's cool. I'll check that out.
Yeah. Well, now we can try and steer it away from the Juggalo talk. We're talking about Halloween shit. Unless you got more. Do you have more, Smoothie?
That's it. Other than that, everything's all good in Juggalo hood.
All right. All right. On that note, let's fucking steer hard right away. I'm just kidding. So
where are we going?
We all saw the Halloween. Let's talk Halloween, new Halloween movie. The one that completely ignores every sequel to the original Halloween, which I thought was actually a pretty cool take on that.
I agree.
And just before we proceed any further, for those maybe listening who haven't
spoilers.
Yes.
Spoilers.
This is going to be spoiler as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold back on the spoilers. So you have to have watched it, or you don't, or either that or you don't care.
Yep.
Those are your only choices right now. Sorry.
All right, so Halloween.
Maybe in the description of this episode, we can write when this conversation ends so that people can skip to that time and not miss part of the show, the rest of the show.
Do that in the actual.
Yeah, I'll try to remember to do that.
We'll figure that out. But all right, so Halloween H4O released October, the week before Fearless Fred Fury was supposed to release. October.
All right, let it go, man. Let it go.
October 19th, 20. So we all saw it, I'm assuming, on opening night, or
I did. I saw it Friday night, last Friday.
Yep, same here.
So yeah, I saw it last Friday. I guess I'll start since I'm talking.
Go for it.
Now, I'll just give my first initial thoughts. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. That's my initial impression.
Mm-hmm.
What's your initial impression of it?
Mine or Brandon?
Scott, go ahead.
I thought it was pretty good. I wasn't blown away by it.
Okay.
I thought it was well shot and pretty well acted. I hated Laurie's daughter with a fiery passion. I hated that character so much.
Okay, I guess that was your part of your initial impression. We'll talk
it is, yeah, but we'll get into that more.
All
but right. I thought it was good, not great.
Okay, Brandon.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't think it was like the best thing ever. I didn't think it was like a genre-defining movie or anything, but I had fun watching it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked almost everything about it.
It was a competent companion to the original. Mm-hmm. That sounds like it's a pretty good description of that.
I feel for where we are right now with how we've already had 100 sequels already, that like this is probably the best way to present this franchise, and I think they did a really good job with it.
Okay.
Agreed. They made a very realistic approach to what an attack like that would actually do to not only a person or people, but a whole town. I thought that was pretty well done.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess that's, you kind of just answered that, but that's what I was going to say. So in terms of living up to its hype, what it was initially pitched as being the successor, the direct sequel to the original 1978 Halloween. So do you think it lived up well enough to that?
I think it did a lot of the same shit the original did, to be honest. So yeah. And that's kind of where the downfall for me was. It didn't really go far enough to me.
We'll start with you then, Scott, since you're talking, or have talk first. And then Brandon, your thoughts on this, because then I'll get to mine. So do you think that was where it fell short, because it didn't do anything new, I guess, is what you...
I mean, I don't know how you could have done anything new, but it just felt like it was repeating a lot of what the original did. Besides, like, the more over-the-top kills, obviously. It even did some of the same kills, like pinning someone to the wall with a knife and all that shit. It's like we've seen that before, even in the Rob Zombie one. And I honestly thought that the high school kid storyline shit could have just been deleted from the movie completely. It did nothing to bring anything to the table. I was more interested in
get killed for sure. Like, you start making a list in your head of like, oh, I want this guy to die. Like, I hope this guy dies. Like the podcaster guy, like I was really excited for him to fucking die because I didn't like him. And
I honestly was more. I was more wanting to. Yeah,
he should have been killed, but he didn't.
Oh, the douchebag boyfriend. Yeah, I honestly wanted them to pursue that podcast storyline a little further than they did.
Yeah, but
they were outsiders.
Storyline of was it Halloween Resurrection, where they were like making the film about Halloween or something like that?
Well, they were doing like I don't know if I've seen the whole thing of that, but didn't they do like a reality show or some shit with Michael?
Like
that movie is fucking stupid.
Yeah, staying the night.
Yeah. Was that Resurrection or was that?
That was Resurrection. Yeah, because H2O was like set at that school or whatever.
H2O was basically Scream with Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And that was the time frame,
Yeah, it was.
All right, so you definitely don't think you were expecting something different.
No, I wasn't. I mean, it was. I wasn't expecting to be blown away by it. I was expecting to enjoy it, and I did. Then that's basically it. I didn't think it went like in a far enough direction, but I liked the story. Like, I feel like it could have cut out some storylines, and it would have been a way more competent movie. Okay. I think following Lori, and even though I hated her daughter, maybe made her flesh out her daughter a little more than just a whiny. She's just every line that she's uttered in that movie was whiny as hell.
Her daughter, and I said, "Really?" And I kind of disagreed with you there for a second. I think I was thinking granddaughter. The granddaughter.
Granddaughter. I liked actually that character.
Yes. Okay. So you're right. Yes, the daughter. Yes, for sure.
I hated that character.
Actually, okay. I was actually thinking the granddaughter because I thought the high school girl I thought was okay.
Yeah. For some reason, that's right where my head went. Totally. Yes. The mom, she fucking sucks. Yes.
All she did was whine. Every line was a whiny line, and it was just grating.
But at the same time, I think she had a good part at the end, which again, like full spoiler here. Like when they're down at the very end of the movie, where they're down like in the basement, and like she starts like crying, like "Mom, I need you," like thinking that she's about to fuck it all up, but that was actually like what ended up kind of saving the day.
Yeah,
that was a good part. She had that part, and that was a cool part. But you're right, everything else.
It was also incredibly corny too.
It was. I like it though.
I like when Lori appeared right after she did that and said "Happy Halloween, Michael" or something like that. I burst out laughing in the theater. I thought it was hilarious. It was so cheesy.
Before we get any further on that, because we still got to go in the room. So it was what it was for you, Scott. It wasn't bad.
Yeah. No, I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest. I was expecting to at least somewhat enjoy it. I really didn't know how I was going to feel about it because I was never like huge into Halloween. I watched the original once or twice. I watched the second one once, and then as far as the rest of them goes, I don't think I watched anything other than Halloween H2O and the Rob Zombie ones. I haven't been like into the Michael Myers lore.
Yeah, I liked like damn near all the sequels, honestly. Like I loved like 4 and 5.
Oh yeah.
There's the little girl and shit. Like I thought those were really good movies.
Yeah. I've been meaning to watch them on Plex. I just haven't had any time to watch them.
Check them out.
Yeah, Kyle's got them all. So
yeah.
I did too.
All right, so let's move over to Brandon now. I'm going to ask the same question, then we'll get to my thoughts on that as well. So, you going into the movie after you saw it, after all said and done, what were your thoughts? What were your overall?
I was very happy with it. Like, I mean, it was kind of like, it wasn't like, again, like just the most fantastic movie ever, but it was kind of what I expected it to be, and it lived up to what I thought it would be and what I wanted it to be. I had fun going. It was a big sold out theater, and it was cool seeing it on opening night. Like the whole experience was fun. So
yeah. My experience was a little tarnished because I don't know what the fuck was going on in my theater, but the dialogue, like when people were speaking, was it sounded like they were underwater. Like the other sound effects were crisp, but that for whatever reason, I don't know what was going on there, but it was like it wasn't that bad. But it was a lot harder to hear. You got used to it by the end, but at first it was just like, what the fuck are they saying?
We paid like the extra. It was an extra like $5 to see it in the XD theater that has like the better sound quality and shit. And like,
yeah,
so ours sounded awesome, and the sound, the score for this movie was fucking fantastic.
It was good. I did enjoy that. I agree there.
I do agree. So then, okay, that was your answer there. Let me just give mine real quick, and we'll continue discussing. So me going into it was everything I thought it would be and more.
Well, that's good.
Not
I'm
more.
glad you liked it.
When I say more, I like you're rebooting it, not rebooting it. You're making a sequel to a 40-year-old movie that you've already had like 3 different timelines now, not counting Rob Zombies. You had, and I like the breakdowns that you get online. So you had the original series, which was 1, 2, and H2O, pretty much, and Resurrection. I think because Laurie Strode was in that, and then 4, 5, and 6 were all they're self-contained little pieces, and they, I think they stood on their own well as that little piece. So with this, when you're hearing it's going to be a direct sequel to the original one, it's like, how are you going to pull that off? And with Laurie not being, because that was pretty well known at that point that Laurie wasn't his sister at that point. It was just Laurie was Laurie. She was the character. She just happened to be around on that Halloween night when he killed her friends or whatever. So
I think that makes it more interesting that she's not related.
Well, I do, because it leaves you thinking, and this is why I thought it was well done. It's like, what is his driving for? Like, what purpose does he have?
He doesn't have one, and that's the best part of it.
It is. He's just ran. It's almost like she was just the last one that was around of those initial run-ins. There's
just,
like,
for him, it's unfinished business in this movie.
Just gotta kill her.
And I think that worked well, and he stopped it at nothing.
Yep, it's way more interesting than it's his sister, and he has to kill her for some fucking reason.
You get it, and like I said, that's a good timeline on its own if you go that way. But doing it this way as well, it just gave that whole another spin. Like I might be alone in saying that I enjoyed the Rob Zombie one, maybe the first one more than the second. Because I really don't remember much about the second, but I thought the first one of his was well done as well. A lot of people didn't like the whole backstory.
Yeah, the backstory was iffy on those.
I liked it. It just gave that new. I want to replace it. You don't need to know a backstory. Like, that was the whole thing. You don't need to know Michael Myers' backstory other than he's pure evil, as Dr. Loomis.
I watched House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects both this afternoon. Just throwing in Rob Zombie. I was kind of in and out, like not totally like there for both movies, but
yeah,
I still.
And what do you think of them now?
I liked both of them still.
Devil's Rejects is definitely one of my top horror movies. So yeah.
I can't wait. What, 3 from Hell?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how.
It doesn't really make any sense.
It really does not. But I haven't liked really hardly anything he's done here lately, so I'm not real sure about it.
Yeah, 31 was beyond rough.
Hold on. We'll get back. We'll get Rob Zombie.
See you later, Brandon.
Yeah. Let's finish up Halloween here, though.
All right. Yeah.
Where we were. So I think when I say more, I think it was well done in that aspect. And then I liked the way, and maybe it was just it was definitely, there was a lot of fan service in that movie. And
and that was kind of what threw me off. It was a little too,
I like that.
Too referential.
But I because it ties, because they brought in the other movies as well.
Yeah. I was just hoping that I guess my expectations were that it's going to be a Halloween movie, but it was going to be its own. And in a lot of aspects it was, but then I felt like they were trying to, then it wasn't doing anything to separate itself too much, because it was really just turned into every other Halloween movie until the end. It
did. But again, like I said, I think being a fan of the series and appreciating the movies for what they are, even though they're not the greatest, just because they're Michael Myers and Michael Myers related, I think that fan service was good. Even like with the Halloween 3 masks that they had, they were very they weren't the exact mask, but they were similar enough to know that, oh, that's a nod to Halloween 3. those masks, or that scene, which I liked, where the old lady's in there making her sandwich, and Michael comes and beats her in the head with a hammer. That was not
Yeah.
original to. That's how that almost played out, and like I caught
Yeah.
that, on the first watch through, and I'm sure once they release it on Blu-ray and everything, or DVD, there's going to be so much more like I'm going to be looking for and trying to pick up and make the connection. So I like that fan service part of it. But going back to what you had said, the ending up until the ending where it got serious, so that then leaves us with, is there going to be a sequel?
They already have plans for him.
See, I don't think did they originally, or was it only that Laurie was only, or Jamie Lee Curtis was only signing on for one more, because they touted it as the final Halloween.
I was hoping it would be. I mean,
but that was pretty like
to try and continue with that ending is just like you're going back to what their sequels did, what you were trying to get away from, was taking the groundedness of what this movie kind of was, and taking away from it. You burn him alive.
That's what I told my friend about the movie. He was, really excited for the movie, but then he was very let down by the movie, and his reason was because the ending was him being set on fire, and that has been done before. So it's like, don't do that again. It's the same fucking thing. So he was like upset that was the ending with this one.
Yeah,
but I liked the way that they did it, and I don't know.
I think he hasn't been set on fire in that capacity. Like, he was trapped, hypothetically, in the basement, and the house you would figure would collapse on top of him. So you figure it's pretty final. There's no way of getting out of that. But
he will.
But then he will, because they're turning him back into a supernatural being, apparently.
Now, what I would like to see, but it won't fly because so many people have this. Well, no, actually, I think it would fly more nowadays. But so many people have this love for Michael Myers. The character Michael Myers. He's almost the hero, the anti-hero, if you will, of these movies. You root for him. You want him to live. You want his story to keep being told in whatever crazy off the wall way. But I think maybe now, like, I would like to see what the initial intentions were with the whole Halloween franchise back in the day when they made 3, and it was completely different from the whole Michael Myers storyline.
Well, they knew they had to, if they wanted to continue the name, but not, they knew they couldn't use Michael Myers if they killed him,
right? And so they did what they needed to do to make him lie, or they brought him back. I forget.
Everybody pissed off that they made a Halloween movie without Michael Myers. So
it doesn't really make any fucking sense. But
it doesn't. It doesn't. But I mean, to the directors and those making it, they want to make an anthology series where, like, every Halloween, almost like Saw, if you will, you get a different Halloween movie, but it would be a different, theme for the thing. But I think,
which isn't a terrible idea, but at this point,
no.
When your mascot is now Michael Myers, like that's what we
you kind of pigeonholed that.
But
that franchise.
What I'm saying is now, yes, while he's still the celebrated character that he is, I think now 3 has been seen in a new light, and it's more
people's like actually saying good things about it now.
I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite entries in it, not taking the whole Michael Myers, that mind frame, maybe even taking the Halloween branding off it and just leaving it Season of the Witch. The whole story and everything is fantastic.
I need to watch it again. I literally have not watched it since like the late 90s.
It's a good it's a good story, and it feels like Halloween. Like it puts you in that, like, I will go and reach for that. When I'm thinking of Halloween, I'll always go that one first.
I'll watch it here soon. I'll give it another look.
And when I say Halloween, when I'm thinking of the season, when it's that time, I need to watch it within the next few days. But I think if they were to do something like that now,
but they're not.
They're not, obviously, but I think
we're doing a Season of the Witch 2 for a long time now. So I don't know. I mean, what this movie did very well financially, and like horror is kind of an it thing again. I don't think it'd be too far out of the question to see a season of The Witch 2 at some point.
That'd be fantastic. I would love to see that. I mean, like I said, the whole series has been brilliant, and while it doesn't make no damn sense, you know.
No, I mean, they have a 60-year-old man, an almost elderly man with like superhuman strength killing people.
But it still makes for good.
I mean, it was still good. It was just like insane. And I don't know how you guys felt about the whole new Doctor / new Loomis.
I wasn't a huge fan of his.
I didn't like it at all. I thought that was a bad move. I think they should have left that alone.
Well, I don't. I mean, he was a student of Dr. Loomis's. So.
Yeah, but then they turned him into like a more of a crazy. I mean, I guess that's
one point during the movie when like he put the mask on himself.
That was dumb.
I really thought there for a second, like, is that like really what they're going to do with this? Like, he's going to like become the new Michael Myers or something? I was like,
I thought the same. I was like, if that's what's going on,
I won't finish the fucking movie if that's what they're going to fucking do. So hopefully,
I thought the same thing
quickly, but like for a second there, like I was really worried.
But I thought,
like, you guys are jumping the shark, man. Stop it.
But I thought that's one of the parts I thought was brilliant because it then proved that I'm freaking Michael Myers, bitch, and I don't care who I'm going through. I'm going to stomp your fucking head.
At one point, I thought he was going to kill a fucking baby, but he did not.
Yes. Yeah, they made that very clear. At first, it was like, oh, shit, he's going to the crib, and he's just going to stab a baby right now. He looked at it, was like, are they really going to go this far? And then they didn't. Yeah. And they didn't. And I was like, all right.
In the theater, sitting there thinking like, oh, my God, he's going to kill a fucking baby. But then he did not. So that was
well, because then you were putting that unfortunate spots. Like, do I cheer for him killing a baby, or is that?
I mean, I was like, is it in character for him to kill a baby? Because he doesn't have a.
He's just a killer.
He has no motive. It doesn't matter who he kills. So I was like,
but
it wouldn't be out of character. But is this
right?
I think that gives like a little motive, and I only say that to. Not like why he's doing
he leaves children alone, basically.
But not, well, no,
he killed a kid in this movie.
He killed.
Oh yeah, he did kill a kid. Never mind.
What I'm thinking is just anyone who's like picks up on who he is and recognizes him for what it is, or could possibly pose a threat to him. So, like in that instance, he was calling.
That baby was like, "Oh shit, he's a threat."
He didn't.
The baby's a threat.
He didn't know anything. You know, it's like, well, this baby's not going to say anything. It doesn't know.
Don't you tell the police, their baby.
You know, he knows none the wiser. Even the kids, like he ran into on the street, which again was like a nod to one of the original Halloweens.
Yeah.
But they weren't thinking, and at that time there was nothing about killing. It was just a guy dressed up like a freaking crazy person. Like, so why would he attack these random kids? But then again, you go into the house when he beats the lady's brains in, steals the knife. Which was the same. I believe that was the same house with the baby, wasn't it? Or was that a later?
I don't remember which house it was.
You had that, or you have that girl.
Was the house with the baby the one with the little black kid that was hilarious?
No,
but it was. I think it was around there. But the black kid, yes. We'll talk about him. I mean, no, we'll talk about him now. He was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
he made the show.
Yeah.
It was a little weird that he kind of like broke the tension while he was murdering the babysitter.
I thought it was fantastic.
Well, Michael Myers is like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, all right, that's a weird choice for a scene that's supposed to be tense, but all right. I mean, it still wasn't bad. It's not a complaint. I just thought it was a weird choice.
But I think that was perfect because he embodied not only. I mean, just.
He was essentially the crowd in that situation.
He embodies what we would do in that situation. We're not going to hang around. Like he comes down blatantly and tells her boyfriend, "She's dead. Like run. Like don't go up there."
Like when he says, "David, send Helm up first."
Yeah, like it's like that's what you would do. Like no, I'm good. I'm just going to run. You know.
Yeah.
Forget all you.
I know you're talking about smoking weed.
Yeah. Shit.
So
So
yeah, good comic relief and really put like into perspective. Like he made it real. Like that's what you do. That's how you would act in that situation.
Yeah.
You sugarcoating things, especially nowadays. Kids know what you're talking about. Like with the whole weed thing, you're not
yeah.
gonna cover it up and everything, and then ultimately you're just gonna go to bed and be happy. You know, like not tell on the babysitter.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
All right. I think I've said my piece on the Halloween movie. How about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm skeptical about them churning out sequels
I wish they wouldn't.
because there's not a good history of that. But I liked this one a lot. So
Yeah, I
if they
enjoyed it. I would watch another one, I guess.
continue it, and if they can continue making them this good quality, then okay. Like I'd rather there be Halloween movies than not, as long as they're worth a shit.
right, and I agree with that. I think as long as it's
Oh, here we go.
I think as long as it's taken care of correctly and not rushed, I think it could definitely be
They
good.
had all the right people working on this movie, and
as long as they have Michael Myers having like the leg strength of a horse stomping a man's head in, like that guy's head just splattered.
yeah,
like a rotting pumpkin.
The shit out of his head. So I went back and I've seen the movie twice now. I went back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went back on Wednesday. Me and another guy at work, we both work a split shift where we get off at like 2 p.m. and we have to be back at 5 p.m. And he's like, "You got anything going on like between shifts?" And I'm like, "No, not really." He's like, "All right, well, I still want to go see Halloween. It's playing at 2:20. You want to go see it?" I was like, "All right, fuck it. Yeah, let's go see it."
Yeah, got nothing else to do. Yeah,
So
sure.
What's up, Smoothie?
Should we take a break? You gotta go throw your child and chain him to bed?
No, we're good.
All right.
So yeah, what we're talking about.
I've seen the movie twice now. I went back to see the movie again.
And
was it just as good or better? Or okay?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and then it was cool because the guy I went with, he's not a horror fan like really at all, and he thought that this movie would be worse than what he ended up thinking it was.
Oh,
so it was cool coming out of it, and he's like, "Yeah, that was way better than I thought it was gonna be."
That's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, and he said he thought the creepiest scene was at the beginning when they were showing Michael the mask, and all the other like crazy people were like.
I thought that was a cool scene.
That was a very cool scene. Like they were all just making like, the wackiest fucking noises and shit.
Yeah.
And he just fucking stood there, and that was for sure. That was very creepy.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it again.
I liked the ending, kind of almost before the showdown or whatever. It was very tense with Laurie going through the house. I like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Very tense.
And then there was the part where she fell off the second floor, and it was like the callback to
do the first one. Yeah,
the theater that I saw at opening night in, like they started clapping when that happened, and that was cool. That it got a little applause there.
Yeah, the fan service was definitely high with that, and that's why I loved about it. And real quick before we do take a break, because we'll have to do that now. I did want to touch on the daughter, Laurie's daughter. While she was whiny and everything. But I guess it goes to set, even though you thought it was a bit cheesy. I think she played that character well as being that whiny, crying person. But then to come back, to say, "Oh, by the way,
so let's be real. If she was raised the way that she was raised, that's probably how she would fucking turn out in real life and be that kind of fucking person.
Yeah,
so
because she would.
The
mom's crazy. And on the boss.
The trauma was passed down through generations type of deal.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
which I understand that was what they were going for. She just wasn't very. I feel like they could have done a better job.
I also do agree with that. She was my least favorite character for sure.
She was. And like I said, to go back to the confusion, I was thinking you were talking about the granddaughter.
Actually did like it.
I thought, but because I was like, she was great. I mean, she actually talked to her grandma.
So what was the symbolism at the very end of the movie with the granddaughter holding the knife? What does that mean?
I thought that I wasn't entirely sure, but I thought it was like.
Well, I knew it opened the door for sequel. My thought was you could go the whole, but you would have to make them related somehow. Like there's really no reason for it to be some kind of power thing in the family or bloodline thing like the original 5 and 6 were. But at the same time, maybe it well, of course, we know they're already talking about sequels.
Because my buddy that I saw it with on the second time, he said that he felt that it meant that she was going to end up being Michael Myers in a sequel. Like that's what he took from it, which I don't know that that's quite the case. But
no, I'm thinking it's more like she's becoming more like Laurie is in that movie, almost maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
now they are all in the same boat. They all became victims of Michael Myers and survived.
Yeah.
So now they all kind of carry the same burden.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense. See, to me, it would make you think like that shot makes
they turned her into a serial killer off of that. That'd be stupid.
It would be very weird.
But I think that's what they want you to think. I don't think
maybe that is what they were going for. But maybe she was just ripping it for protection because now she's in that mode that Laurie was in the entire movie.
Again, that would only work if there was a bloodline there. Like I think that whole thing, and it be
maybe they'll do that again. Maybe they'll just say, you know what?
But
it worked. Let's do it again. Fuck it. Michael Myers is now related to the Strodes.
Yeah, can't say, oh, we're not sorry that we tricked you again.
Oh God.
Laurie is his sister. That all this time, or there's some bloodline. You couldn't do that.
I would not respect that movie if they decided to go back on that.
I don't.
It's gonna be hard to see what it's gonna be. Interesting to see what they do with it
if they do. But like when I initially saw that shot, only thinking that was going to be the final Halloween. Like when they initially announced it, it was supposed to be like I would that as being the power.
I don't feel like I remember all of this final Halloween.
I did, unless it was only pertaining to.
I don't know if they ever said that initially, but I was kind of hoping that's what they're going to go with. Is like it was 40 years past. Everything else beforehand doesn't count. Now is the final showdown between Laurie and it's kind of what I thought they were going with it, but apparently I was wrong.
And there
was a promo picture of Jamie Lee Curtis that had like her looking as like Jamie Lee Curtis, and she was like kissing on the forehead, like the Laurie Strode character, Jamie Lee Curtis, that made it look like she was like kissing the character goodbye almost. So that made it kind of like seem like a final kind of thing also, I guess.
That promo, interesting. I've never seen that one. The early promos I remember were of her standing on the porch or whatever, and you see Michael.
This one wasn't an actual Halloween promo picture. It was like an Entertainment Weekly photo or something that she put on Instagram.
But I like I said, I thought that was initially, and maybe it was just her signing on for one more time as Laurie Strode, which you would think she was going to die.
I was wondering if that was what was going to happen.
But
yeah. I thought it was a very good possibility that she would.
It wouldn't be the worst thing.
But if they would have made for a good ending, and
yeah, it would.
Like if she ended up dying and the family killed Michael Myers, and my thoughts on the knife would have been that now it's done. Like she has this. It's the control, the power is in there. Like it's over. Like it was just almost showing you that it's over. The knife is moved. The power has moved from Mike. He's done. And that's it. It's you can all go trick or treating Halloween 2019.
I was just happy to see in the theaters a horror movie that wasn't a fucking haunted house or ghost movie or a possession movie that was rated PG-13 like there has been for like the last decade, basically.
There's definitely a lot of them, and we can definitely talk about them.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of like on the swing the other way, though, of the whole like
I'm hoping
horror R again type thing that.
Or just, like Blumhouse seems to be the place to go.
For sure.
They're becoming like the house that's making low budget, good horror.
Yeah. They spent $10 million on Halloween and it made 96 its first weekend. So
yeah, worldwide.
It made a ton of money. So that's for sure why there will be a sequel. They're not going to turn down money like that.
No. I don't blame him.
Well, we'll
But,
talk.
yeah.
It's cool that horror is the most profitable of the genres because of how cheap it is to make them.
It is, yeah.
It doesn't make 250 million like a Marvel movie does, but the profit that it makes is huge because they're so cheap to make.
They're cheap, yeah. And the most popular Netflix show right now is Haunting on House Hill. Have you guys watched any of that?
We have not, but,
I'm going to for sure, but I have not got to it yet.
but you know what? Let's save this for the second half of the episode.
Yep.
So I can refill.
Well-
We're about an hour and 15 minutes in. So let's take a small refill break here and we will come back with more things horror and spooky and all that good stuff here on the Unknown Podcast.
Ooh.
Let's pause.
All right.
I'm
You
gonna
going pee?
refill. Yeah, I'm gonna refill. We'll and continue for another hour or so.
I definitely don't need a shot. These beers are going down nicely.
I've only got one beer left.
Me too, but after this one, I have one.
It's
I'm
going
gonna be fucking hammered after this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you entertain our viewing audience of me.
Oh, my entertainment is probably going to be the bathroom that's right there. Them listening to me taking a piss.
Well,
We need a little note that we can put on the screen that says like back
Piss
in 5
cam.
Switch over to Smoothie's YouTube channel to watch the live exclusive smooth. No, I got nothing.
Yeah, go take a piss, dude. Go potty.
We'll be back.
I have returned to not do anything. Oh shit.
Oh man. I have some bad gas.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Just be glad it's not smell-o-vision over here.
I'm very glad. Can't forget to talk about Apu.
Oh yeah, we'll start with that. Bring that up right at the beginning because I completely forgot about that. I just need a cracker here. Pour my second shot.
Yeah, that'll suck up all the alcohol. That single cracker.
That whole ream's going to be gone by the end of the show.
Hold on, are we allowed to eat on the show now?
Sure.
Sure.
Why not? All right.
Maybe not that loud of stuff.
All right. I revoke eating privileges.
I'm already putting it away.
Just on the break. All right, I'll take one more cracker.
Yeah, you gotta soak up the alcohol.
And one chip should do me good.
Yeah.
All right. Right back on him.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Suck it down. Suck it down.
That's a cracker. Garlic flavor or something. This fancy Ritz. Putting on the Ritz. All right. So anyway, let me unpause this here. We're going to take 5 seconds. So starting now. I think that was 5 seconds. What up, everybody?
Yeah, whatever. Just go. I thought it was you. I didn't know if it was me or you.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. So
we're back. We're back.
We are back for part 2 of the Unknown Podcast, episode 19. And Scott had pointed out something before we continue with our spooky celebration and our talks of horror and all good and scary things that we did forget to circle back to. I don't know if we were talking about in the pre-show or not. Apu. I'm curious to find out about Apu and what's going on.
Okay.
Do
you want me to bring it in?
That one's not very horror related. Yeah, go ahead.
That's what I said. We're going to take a break.
They are cutting him out of The Simpsons now. He's no longer going to be a character because of the controversy that they were having. Because there was a whole controversy. I don't know if anyone has heard, but they addressed it last season, sort of. But now they're just completely cutting him out as a character. There was a whole backlash because he's like an Indian caricature.
Hold on 1 second. We have a shot to take before we get.
Oh shit!
And I guess the shot goes out to Apu.
Yeah.
Want me to pour this shit on the floor for him?
Don't waste your alcohol. No.
R.I.P. Apu. I don't know if they're killing you or not, but I guess we'll find out.
Sounds like he's just not going to be on the show anymore.
Yeah, he's no longer going to be a character in The Simpsons because there was a whole backlash about him being an Indian caricature, running a convenience store, blah blah blah.
So now,
and the fact that it was a white guy playing an Indian caricature was like a whole other spiel too, I believe. So now they're just completely cutting him out of the show. He's no longer going to be.
It's ridiculous.
We're talking 30 years later. This character,
30 years later, yes,
right,
has not been. I'm sure it might have been a problem, but I'm sure people found it funny, found the humor in it, and just but now
every fucking character on The Simpsons is a stereotype or a caricature or whatever. Though
that is true.
Every goddamn one of them. So, first of all, why anybody cares enough to remove a character from a show? I mean, it's not even that popular anymore.
No,
coming from a fucking lifelong die-hard Simpsons fan, like
this definitely was more of a news headline move than anything. If they would have just kept quiet and kept them in the show, known the controversy was
something else terrible that happened.
The controversy was already forgotten.
Yeah, totally.
They brought it back to say that he's not, so they could get the Simpsons back in the headlines again because this.
What bugs me about it the most is that because I am a fucking goddamn diehard Simpsons fan, is that like Apu is like painted very fucking positively on the show and always has been. Like he's always been an extremely nice, fucking hardworking person and like that was happy to become an American citizen and like worked to become what and like it shouldn't be labeled as a bad thing. He's a good positive fucking character.
I think the problem was that his whole caricature was based upon his race more than like any other of like the stereotypes in that show. Not saying that I ever was going to I've ever been offended by it. Because I'm not. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. Yeah. I don't think it was that big of a deal. I think it was blown out of proportion. I feel like a very vocal minority said something about it, and then it got blown up.
You know what? I don't think it was a vocal minority. I think it was these stupid social justice warriors. The person or people who were outrageously offended by this are probably freaking white people who are just think they're fighting a good fight, and it's that era we live in that where everything has to be wrong.
I'm all for like if something's like not the way it should be, then like I'm way more of that person than like a lot of people I know are, but like this one just doesn't seem like it should fall into the category of something like that needs to be bitched about.
I think it
yes and no. It was borderline racist, to be honest.
but the fact I'm not, okay.
It's borderline. It is.
It is, but at the same time, I mean, it's been 30 years. I know you can't put a timestamp on racism and the stuff that's happened for years in this country, whatever the case may be. But this is it's a satirical cartoon show.
Yeah, you can't take anything at face value on this show.
It's not.
I mean, why the fuck is South Park allowed to do what it does, but they're not Fox, so
it just
I
said, that and South Park is still more relevant than The Simpsons somehow.
Yeah, totally.
That's why.
In this case, I wouldn't say racist. I wouldn't say his character is racist. I think it's a stereotype.
Which makes it borderline. I'd say it's borderline.
Borderline, but I think even.
But what about the fact that like most times that I walk in to a convenience store, like it is an Indian person that I deal with.
Well,
not that I deal with. That makes it sound way worse than I meant.
No, Brandon's the goddamn racist in this.
No, I hate to fucking sound that way for sure. But
I know. I was just joking.
It is, and it's not, and like, but that's what makes me go back and think it's not.
I think that's where the stereotype comes in, and that's where it's kind of
pushing
boundaries. Now, I mean, now because the culture shifted.
But that's I think it's not.
Now we start taking down all of these fucking stereotype Simpson characters. So groundskeeper Willie is next, and then the Italian guy that works at the spaghetti fucking restaurant is next. And then they'll eliminate everybody from the show, and then they'll bitch that there's no diversity on the show.
And that's true. It's a cartoon.
It really is.
It's not life. And if you want to go and yes,
as political as we've got, I think
it's to me. If it's been borderline.
It's ridiculous.
But it's been for 30 years or on 30 years. It's been borderline racist, and nobody has stepped forward to make this accusation, and it's not.
I don't feel like a whole lot of people did, to be honest. I think that they stirred up the controversy themselves, and then are using it to their advantage now to make headlines. I don't think they really gave a shit.
I feel like this somehow is like a PR thing for something like totally worse that is going down at Fox. Like something crazy happened, and they're like, "Oh, we'll cover this up," because that's everything in fucking Hollywood now is covering up all of the whatever bullshit that goes on.
Yeah. So
I don't think we'll cover up this story with this fucking bullshit Simpson stuff, and that'll make people forget about that all this other terrible shit's happening over here.
You're probably right. I mean, It's
That-
really. Yeah,
that
go ahead.
Sorry, that to me seems like the most logical thing. Like it would be either a publicity, not stunt, but making them their name appear in the headlines again. I mean, we'll go back to Shaggy 2 drop picking
Jesus Christ.
predators. I mean,
exactly on par with that for sure.
well, their names were in the headline. Is what I'm saying. Like that got attention, and by
Too
saying,
much fireball for you, Smoothie.
by saying we're going
More fireball, Smoothie.
You fucking going in a circle here.
more okay.
Hey,
By
No, yeah, please.
no, but by
Take a sip. Yep, there you go. Yeah, there it is.
oh,
Jesus. Did you just breathe it in instead of swallow it? What'd you do there?
you inhaled the fireball.
Well, as someone who does see it as borderline racist as it is, I don't care. It's never bothered me, and I don't think it's really bothered anyone else either. I feel like the few people that may have bitched about it are a very small minority, but then it got blown up because Simpsons actually acknowledged it, and then here we are getting rid of it.
all right, before post dying there, what I was saying is I agree with it. It could be an internal. There might be something more going on, but
Or that, yeah.
we'll use this to throw because, like I said, if this character has been around for 30 years, why all of a sudden now? And it's either one, it's an internal thing, or just the culture itself. Like everybody wants to stand up for something and find fault.
But at the same time, I understand where the flip side of that is to where, like, there's been plenty of other shit that has been racist as fuck for 30 years, and we shouldn't just let it continue.
Yeah, we should end it. Yeah,
that way. But I just don't feel like this falls into that category.
And I agree with that, and not just because you go into stores and deal with that all the time, Brandon, but what I'm saying is it's
yeah, you deal with those Indians and all those convenience stores.
No,
Super confused there for a minute.
He's never been painted as a bad character, and he's had some main, from what I remember, even early on, like main roles, main story plots around him.
No, he was proud to be becoming an American citizen. I remember that was a whole plot line.
Yeah,
it's not like he's just this one-off character that they go and
they've done a lot with him. I don't know how much they've done with him in the last the newer seasons. I don't know.
Nobody knows because nobody fucking watches it anymore.
No one watches it. I did watch the season premiere of season 30.
I always do, but I haven't. I have not watched this new one yet.
You didn't watch the season premiere?
No, like the last few years, like that's all I've watched is like the season premiere and the Halloween episode. But this year, I haven't even watched the season premiere yet.
Happened already? I thought that was.
I think so. Probably. I think the Treehouse of Horror happened last week. It'll be on Hulu. I actually watched the premiere. It was surprisingly good.
Was that the one with the Bob's Burger couch gag?
Maybe
it might have been the next episode that I saw him like tweet about. There was a Bob's Burger couch gag, which I heard was really funny. It looked really funny. I mean,
I started watching the second episode. Sorry, second episode. I don't remember. I may have been too stoned, but it was not nearly as good as the first one. So I since haven't watched.
Yeah, that's how
more Simpsons.
I like maybe last year, maybe it was the year before. They did the Treehouse of Horror episode, but then they also did, like, for the first time ever, a Halloween episode that was just like a normal, like a part of the regular Simpsons, like celebrating Halloween.
I thought you said they were doing it this year.
I know they did it last year. I watched it last year.
Okay,
but I can't remember if they were doing it this year.
That's what you said, and I misinterpreted it. Okay. We should probably we've gone on about the Simpsons.
Yeah. Back to horror.
Okay. I think.
What was the first horror movie? Why are you a horror fan? What was the first horror movie that got you to be a horror fan?
Ooh, this is Jesus. This is a good topic, and I say that because as I mentioned the other podcast that I'm working on and been working on.
Wait. Is that the one with you and your wife?
No, just me.
Oh yeah, your solo cast. Oh man, that sounds awful. I don't know how you're going to do that. I don't want to talk to myself.
Thanks.
Who wants to talk to
That
themselves?
sounds awful. You put my show down.
Wait, no, I'm not saying your podcast sounds awful. I'm saying talking by yourself sounds awful.
Smoothie, I think go for it. I believe in you. I think you can do it.
Shut up, Brandon. You know exactly what I meant by what I said. That sounds awful.
I know what you're saying.
Because I tried to do it that one episode. I got a few minutes in, and all I could talk about, I locked in one topic and only one topic.
Well, that's
you beating the shit out of your children.
Okay, well, that's not a good topic to lock into, but that's what you got to do. You got to find a topic and do it.
Okay, now we've got unknown podcast lore because of it.
We do have the unknown podcast lore because of that.
All right, Smoothie, what's the first horror movie that got you into horror? We're gonna go on that.
It's going to be part of the first podcast that I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
Blog post, but I will share it here now. Exclusive.
You're gonna do it. This is an exclusive.
When
Go.
does that come out?
Huh?
Whenever you record it.
Yeah, whenever.
And here you are pissed that ICP pushed back their album. What about your podcast?
We've been talking about this since like the second episode. I swear to God.
No, not the second, but it's been
well before that.
And I will say I've recorded a couple videos that have not made the light of day.
You weren't proud of them?
No, I just haven't uploaded them or whatever.
Oh, you just haven't. Oh, okay,
coming soon. I'm really getting into this. Blah blah blah. And it hasn't happened. So
all right.
All right.
First movie. What is it?
First movie. It's not even a movie, but the first thing that got me into horror. I mean, I guess you could call it. If you want to look at it, but Michael Jackson's Thriller. That was my first. That was my gateway.
Wow, that's a hell of an introduction.
And I think it's a good lead in. I think it's anybody who wants to maybe explore the horror genre. I think it's a good place to get started. Because I think it's spooky.
It is a fantastic video for sure.
Done well. I mean, you had
a damn good song.
Mm-hmm.
The song, it's just everything about it. Like it all fell into place. And having Lucas, right? No, who was it? Wait, who? Why can't
Price?
But no, Vincent Price. Who was the director? It was a.
Oh, that was John Landis, right?
John Landis, that's it. That's what I was thinking of. Yes, having a Hollywood director.
What else did John Landis direct? I don't know that name.
American Werewolf in London.
Okay,
that's the one.
Gotcha.
So it kind of follows suit, but having that, and I just remember, I give the story, and this will be on that podcast. It'll be coming out sometime, probably when Fearless Fred Fury.
Patiently awaiting it.
I'm pushing it back to February.
To go back to that album, I'm kind of grateful it didn't come out because I would have probably been forced to listen to it in order to have this episode.
I would have told you all about it. Don't worry.
We're gonna have to
we would have had to listen to it. It would have just been part of it. We would have just. I would have had to suffer through another shitty ICP album. I know, and I'm not looking forward to it.
All right, but we're not talking. This isn't talk. Right? Let me finish going back to.
Go on. Anyway, horror movies and shit.
Just give
Thriller.
Ooh, excuse me. A little brief story about it. I can remember. I don't know if it was when it. I think it came out in '83. If I'm correct. But I don't think I saw it when in '83. But I remember like vividly, kind of vividly, little haze in there. My sister showing me the video, and I was fine. We were in the living room gathered because we had one of those big TVs. And I think there were a couple. My parents might have even been there.
Console TV.
Yes, one of the console TVs on the floor. And I remember sitting by it, watching it. I was fine watching it. He's in the movie theater eating it, and you hear the build up and everything. And as soon as he went from, at the time I thought it was a werewolf. Now we find out it's a werecat or something. Is what they say for it. But whatever the case may be, the moment he popped up and started changing, I was gone. Like I bounced from the room. But following that, like we got, I don't know if they even still do it in the local newspapers, not the official TV guy, but you get the insert for the week. It would have it was local for your local channels or whatever. And I remember collecting like the pictures when they were talking about the video, and have the pictures of the zombies, like the stuff that freaked me out. But like I was intrigued, and like I had it for the longest, I don't know where it's at now. Maybe it's still floating around with my
All right,
parents.
so Thriller is a completely different answer than anybody has ever given to that question ever.
I agree.
So where did Thriller take you then?
It was well going like following off that. So like I would cut out like these pictures of Michael Jackson with these zombies, like these scary characters, and it was something that I wanted to. It scared me, but I was intrigued by it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I know like going to my friend's house, like they had an older brother and sister who had like the Thriller soundtrack, and I remember distinctly this one time, and I don't know if it was shortly after this or even a couple of years later. I don't know why, but I was yes, the pumpkin. Drink that pumpkin.
Right now.
One.
I popped in the cassette tape, and my friends must have been downstairs at their house, and I was upstairs. And I remember being under the bed and just playing the song, freaking myself out just by the song, knowing the content of the video, getting to like the Vincent Price part, and then our yearly carnival
of Carnage.
Yes, the Carnival Carnage. They had a walk through dark ride, I guess you would call it, whatever, on the back of a
Dark Carnival.
Yes, the Dark Carnival, and it was themed with Thriller, and like they had like the painting of Michael Jackson as a zombie, and all the zombies behind him. Thriller would just continuously be playing. Never went in it. Was too scared to go in.
Pretty sweet sounding.
It was.
Yeah, that is very cool.
They only did a couple of years, and then it never came back. Like it came back as other things, but it was never the Thriller vibe. But it was just that draw. So skipping ahead a little bit when I got a little older, because like I said, I was fairly young then, and listened to it, but I was always and still a scaredy cat. Like I'll go through like I'm still scared to go on like dark rides and stuff, even haunted things. Like if I go through like a walkthrough, I'm holding on to somebody. I don't care who you are. I'm going to grab onto you because I'm going to scream like a bitch. But I love it. Like it's that thing. It's that frightening part that it draws me in. It's that adrenaline rush, I guess, is what you call it.
Yeah.
But, like that's what was the like gateway drug. And then as I got older, because my friends had older brothers and everything, and their dad was we talked about this, I believe, before, filming everything off HBO and everything, and had like catalogs and books of movies.
Oh yeah.
So there wasn't a movie you couldn't get your hands on. And I remember the two next movies, we'll say, I don't know which one came first, but I remember, I think it was Friday the 13th part 3, maybe. Whatever one, the girl goes out, she's on the raft, and I know this sounds like a lot of them, but there's a distinct one. It's the middle of the night, and Jason stabs up through the raft. She's, of course, in the middle of the night, swimming naked or whatever on a raft. Of course, that's the part I remember, but that was, the first my introduction to Jason. So it was like, this is cool, not just because of that, because it was cool.
Did it scare you the same way that Thriller scared you?
No, it was a completely different thing. It was just that whole suspense thing. And then the other movie I remember around the time that their dad had was, and which I need to get on DVD. If I can find it on VHS, it'd be great. And I don't know if you saw this, maybe one of the first or first parody horror movies, Saturday the 14th.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And
I used to have the DVD of that.
See, I need to get my hands on those and add to the collection. The only parts I really remember from that are the swamp monster or whatever, the creature from the Black Lagoon type monster coming out of the bathroom. That's the only part I remember.
It's been a long time since I've seen that one too.
And I'd love to get and apparently there was a sequel to that, but
yeah, there was.
But basing it off that, then that's what me and my friends would do. We got into.
That's a pretty crazy answer. Also, Saturday the 14th. That's a very uncommon one.
It was because we both had, and my brothers may have been into it. I know my closest older brother wasn't. He was a scaredy cat as well, but maybe my brother after that, who was the same age as my friend's brother, give or take a year, maybe he was more into horror movies, but their brother was always into like heavy metal and rock and everything. So that of course, I think that's par for the course, especially in the 80s. I think if you relate that
they went hand in hand for sure.
Horror and metal and everything, and that's where I get it. So that's where we learned about it and learned about Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and everything. But then it just became when the birth of the video store going in and saying, "Oh, look at this! Oh, this."
Yeah, the video store was such a huge part of horror back in the day
because it was like they sold it. It didn't matter how old you were; they rented it to you. It wasn't, it wasn't.
Yeah. When you were young, were you allowed to, both of you guys, were you allowed to watch horror when you were young? Like, did your parents allow it, or did you have to like sneak into it?
No, I was allowed to watch it. As a matter of fact, my 13th birthday, I think Puppet Master 3.
Have you watched the new one?
I haven't watched the new one. I want to watch the new one.
It's on my Plex. Watch it. It's fucking awesome.
I will. We'll have to.
Yeah,
but like
very, very good.
That's what we watched at my birthday party.
You watch Puppet Man. I've only seen the first one of those movies,
and it was never like
I only watched it for the nudity.
It was like, well, and of course that was
horror is good for that.
That was a big part of it too, and of course that comes with the rental store. It was like we would cover and say,
for sure.
We turn it around, there might be like a girl with like a shirt off her shoulder, like, oh, there might be this. We're renting this.
I need to see this. Yeah,
and I think that's how I think that's how that we ended up watching that for the first time. I know definitely Slumber Party Massacre. That was a giveaway. We're like, definitely gonna see boobs in this one. So,
the reason why I ask if like you were allowed to watch them, because like my mom was like very, very against me watching anything R or anything horror at all. So I remember back in the day when, because we had cable when I was a kid, and there was 3 pay-per-view channels. It was channel 50, 52, and 54 was the 3 pay-per-view channels. And it wasn't an on-demand thing. There wasn't like you could just click and buy it and watch it right now. You had to like wait for like this movie was playing, Saturday at 8 o'clock or whatever fucking time it was. So, but if you turned it to one of those channels without buying the movies, it was just always previews of the movies that were coming up. And it was Poltergeist was the one that got me. I was like, I really, really, really want to see this movie. This movie looks awesome. And my mom would not let me watch it. She wouldn't order it. She like let me order other. Yeah, I know exactly. It was PG, but it was horror and it was scary looking. So she would not let me watch it. And then like, I ended up going over to my aunt's house, and she was like the cool aunt that would let you watch whatever the fuck you wanted to. So like I got there, and she's like, "What do you?"
An uncle like that too.
Yeah. So like I went over to her house, and she's like, "What do you want to watch?" I'm like, "I really want to see this Poltergeist movie." So she bought it on pay-per-view and let me watch it, and like that was my introduction, and it scared the shit out of me, and it was fucking awesome. I love it.
I think it's a great feeling, and I think it's just the time we grew up in, because we're fairly age B. Scott, how old are you, Scott?
Almost 31.
Oh, so we got some
a kid.
Yeah, okay. But it was definitely that time and that mindset, and I guess I'm the youngest of 7, so I think maybe at that point my mom's like, whatever. Like, I mean, I'm not going to sit and monitor.
Fuck it.
We
gave up on this one already.
You're not causing trouble. Whatever. It's a horror movie. You understand. You're not coming into our room like scared or whatever. So you get that it's fake. It's not real. And everything. But like, I mean, because I remember my I was in 2nd grade, I guess, and I mentioned this before. My brother David, who lives in Ohio, he graduated from Xavier University. So we flew. Oh no, I'm sorry, we didn't fly. We drove out there, and I remember that was around the time of Poltergeist 3. And I had seen the other Poltergeist as well and everything, but I remember we had stopped off because we drove out there, and I remember specifically leaving because Perfect Strangers before it moved to TGIF or after TGIF. It was on like on a Tuesday night. We left like during the middle of the week, but we left at night and started driving, and we'd stayed at I don't know what hotel or motel we stayed at in between PA and Ohio. And I remember waking up the next morning and my brother showing. I forget how many of us all went because again, this was the good days of cars. There were no there was like 10 of us piled into one
The
car.
good days of cars.
No seatbelts, no nothing. We just
Yeah.
fit in there and whatever. And the next morning, the motel we stayed at, because it was a smaller one, there was like a cemetery on the outside.
Girl.
The night before, they had Poltergeist 3 was on TV in the room, so it was just kind of like a thing, completely unrelated, but it just made me think of it.
Yeah,
it became second nature. It's like they watch horror movies. It's nothing to be condemned. I mean, yes, are like looking at it, I want to showcase, like I would be selective. Like I want him to watch horror movies, but he's one that will take in.
yeah. See, like my kid right now, like I watch all of this shit with my kid now because like there's nobody else to really watch it with, and my kid likes watching it. But I mean, he's 16, so like that's old enough.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
even like younger, like
I watched shit way younger.
Yeah, so did I. Totally right.
And I think it depends on your personality. Like Casey's one, he will, like if he sees, like he will get something in his head for like if he saw like it, like he won't watch it and everything. And he tried to watch the new It with us, but like now when he sees Pennywise, it like gets in his head like that. He's one.
Still haven't seen that.
But it's one that stays with him. Like I've never been that person. Like in the moment, and like maybe even that night, like I'll be the person. Like even if like something like now that like scares me, if it's just my wife and I watching it, and I'm the last one downstairs, I'll run upstairs after it's all dark. Make sure nothing's coming to get me. But the next morning, like it's not going to prevent my sleep. Once I'm in bed, I'm going to sleep. It's not going.
All right, Scott. What the hell was your first one?
Yeah,
did we go there?
Go.
I'm trying to think because I used to, as a kid, I'd watch shit like late at night, and I was a bitch. Like it took me a while before I was brave enough to like now I can watch horror movies and they don't affect me at all. I just like to watch them for the thrill of it and the storyline. But before it was hard. Like I watched, and my parents let me watch it because I watched it with them. I watched a lot of shit with Aaron and my dad. I mean, I'm trying to think what was like the earliest one that I watched. Like the one that pops out in my mind that really affected me the most was The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Because at the time I believed that could happen. And it really fucked with me. I like left the room, I remember being like scared by it. Now I'm sure it's more I mean, it was an intense movie regardless.
Yeah, totally.
But
it's a different time now, so it would be different watching it.
And I watched the Scream movies with them, and I watched like which at the time when I was probably like 10 when, or I wasn't even 10 when I was like 9 or 8 or 9 when the first Scream came out. So that did affect me a little bit. I mean, then as I got older, I'd watch like any of the Friday the 13th movies actually. Have they ever scared you? Because they never, even as a kid, I don't think those movies scared me. I remember
they did me when I was a little kid for sure.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
See,
I think what I remember, like I couldn't even watch previews for the Child's Play movies. Like
I never got into Child's Play. I never
Killer
did.
Doll movie scared the shit out of me when I was like, I was probably like 5 when the third one came out, and I saw previews for that, and I saw a Killer Doll, and it scared the shit out of me. But now I remember as like a 9 or 10-year-old watching the first one, and it was a pretty dark movie, and it had an effect on me. I mean, I wasn't like super duper scared of it, but I was just like, Jesus Christ, this movie is intense. So
you got to get into it when you're young, because you have to still have the ability to be scared by stuff like that. And then when you do get into it when you're young, it sticks with you.
Yeah, and then when you get to be like a teenager, like you were saying about, I was getting into metal, so of course horror became more and more synonymous with that. And it was less for the thrill and more for the violence. I feel like as I got into my teenage years, and that's when like Saw and shit came out, and Hostel and.
See, I feel like timeline wise, like I feel like me and Smoothie got to like live the the heyday of horror with like the VHS store and the like. That was my favorite times.
I remember watching late at night with my cousin Aaron at my grandparents watching The Fly.
Mm-hmm.
I still love that movie with Jeff Goldblum. That movie is super good. It's like it's just a genuinely good movie. It's fucked up. Watching it as an adult, it's like, Jesus, this movie's fucked up. But as a kid, I just remember just being like weirded out by it. But now it's just, I need to rewatch that movie now that I'm talking about it. Now that I'm thinking about The Fly, I was like, damn, I want to watch that movie again.
The Fly and The Thing have both been ones that's on my list of ones I need to rewatch again.
I watched The Thing in college, and I was just like, oh my god, this movie! Like the effects the effects of that movie are just phenomenal.
Hell yeah, it's a
fantastic 1986 or whatever the fuck it was, but they're all practical.
Yeah,
they look insane, and they're great. They're great effect. Like they stood the test of time, and they're gross.
Yeah,
it's like
it's a good movie.
It's a gross movie. It's really good.
Would you believe I've yet to see The Fly and the original Thing?
Well, you're doing yourself a disservice, man.
You should see that.
There's a lot of movies that I still need to watch, especially.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat, I'm sure.
In the horror genre, like I just finally the other week got around to watching the Criterion Collection. I didn't watch the actual Night of the Living Dead piece, but I watched the Night of Anubis. That was on the Criterion Collection, which pretty much is just a rough cut of, or the draft of.
Okay.
Night of the Living Dead. So
I just went to the theater a couple nights ago to see Night of the Living Dead. It was really cool.
It's another great one, and I just want to go back before we go. We can talk about Night of the Living Dead or whatever, but I wanted to just go back to what you had said, like how we had grown up in a good time for horror, and me and you.
Yeah, you guys are a little older. You guys were in the 80s era of it.
Yeah.
But it's like the same time, like you were talking, Scott, about The Exorcist and how that you had to leave the room. And like I still will see movies like to this day, like where even if I'm watching them myself, whether it be at work early in the morning before anybody gets there, while I'm doing my work and everything, there are still ones that will like freak me out for a minute or whatever, or put me in the what if situation. But I clearly remember the first time I watched The Exorcist wasn't until later in life.
Same here.
Oh, really? I watched that as a young child, and fucked me up.
Well, I was still living at home, and I clearly remember this. I rented it. I was older. I probably maybe 8th grade, 9th grade. I wasn't sure. I'm not sure what year it was, but I know I was still living at home, and I rented it from the video store, and I got some wings because I remember there was a Wings to Go and video place in my hometown. So I got an order of wings, and my parents would go out every Friday night to the same place. So I was home, so I rented The Exorcist. I was like, I'm gonna rent The Exorcist and get myself some wings. I did not move from that after I watched The Exorcist. Like, I enjoyed it, but it freaked me the hell out. And I'm like 13, 14 at that time. Still, on the younger end.
Still, yeah, it's that good of a movie.
I did not move from like the chair. I was in my living room. We had like a recliner. I did not move until they came home. Like I stayed in the room or in the kitchen.
It affected me so much to the point that I still haven't rewatched it.
Yeah,
not that I think that it would affect me now. It's just like I haven't gone back.
See, but that's what I'm saying, and I think that's a sign of good horror. But I think that's also a good sign of growing up in horror, if you will.
Yeah,
like I can still watch it and still be freaked. Like that's one of the ones. If I watch it by myself, like it's enough to freak me out. Like I know it's not going to be real, and I'm not going to lose.
It's a very intense movie.
Moment I get into it, and it's
one of the best in the genre. I mean, that's all there is to it.
For sure.
But like even, and we'll cut over to right now, like Night of the Living Dead. Like that's even still one I saw later in life. That wasn't one of the ones early on.
That was an early one for me.
I watched. But
yeah, it was a later one for me.
You know,
back when I used to watch USA Up All Night, and they would show like these crazy movies at like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
sat there in the dark in the living room of the house where I grew up, trying to keep it quiet so that my mom wouldn't wake up. And they showed Night of the Living Dead, and I watched it. It was, oh my god,
actually,
it blew me away.
For me, and maybe we can transition into this because, I think this says a lot, one, to the genre and just to the mindset you have to be in. I remember I hadn't seen that until after I was in college. No, I didn't go all 4 years at the same college. I left after 2, but I was, I remember in college, my roommate and I don't know, it was a Friday, Saturday night, it doesn't matter the night or whatever, but we bunk beds in college dorms, and I was on the top bunk, and I remember the TV went on, and Night of the Living Dead had started, and I fell asleep and everything, but I remember that, and still,
he's been falling asleep watching movies since
1997,
college, at least.
Well, it was late. We probably had been drinking, but I still remember. I think I fell like consciously.
Oh, he's taking a piss.
He just doesn't care.
Or taking a shit. I'm not entirely sure which.
I'll save the story because he likes that movie. But we'll go back to that and a thing. But there's something to be said about horror movies. Even now, like I'm still, like I was saying, like I could go to if the 3 of us are going to like a haunted like walkthrough or everything, I might be clinging on, knowing damn well it's fake.
Save me.
No, it's still that I get so worked, and I want to be scared and everything.
Yeah,
but I'm still going to be save me. Like I remember being at Disney World, for the first time with our baseball team or whatever, and this was back in like 93, 94 or whatever, so it was 13, 14, and we went through the Snow White's whatever Snow White's ride. It's changed since then in Disney World, and it's scared. I was clutching onto the dude next to me, who was a teammate. He wasn't just a random stranger, but it like, and it said, if you watch videos, like it gave you a warning. It said there's scary imagery and everything, but I'm 14 years old and jumping at something that's Snow White and the freaking Seven Dwarfs ride. But I enjoyed it. Like I wanted to go in. It's like I'm going to go in there, but I'm going to probably crap myself. But it's worth it. It's in my mind.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've been like super freaked out by a horror movie. Like I remember watching in the theaters with Aaron 28 Days Later. And that just freaked me the fuck out. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe it was the theater experience, seeing it on a big screen. But having the rage zombies just running at you just freaked me out. I was probably like 12 or 13 when that came out. I don't remember.
And I think that's healthy, and I think that's good. And Brandon, I wanted to save the Night of the Living Dead thing. You just randomly took
sorry.
But you just
he just took a piss, or
I don't give a hell about the podcast. I'm going to take a piss.
Yeah, gotta do it.
She's like, I'm out. Fuck it. See you guys.
What I was saying, just going back to that, like what I was saying, like that initial night of watching Night of the Living Dead, the first time I saw it, and I'll say I only made it through to the credit scene. That was like the legitimate for a 1960 movie. That was the music and the black and white, and just seeing them driving on that road, because you don't know if it's sunny or not because it's black and white.
It was awesome, man.
Night of the Living Dead, like that's so eerie, and like that.
Yes.
Like I didn't watch it that obviously that night. I fell asleep shortly after. I might have, made it through the graveyard scene. I don't remember, but I know I had left college at that point. Was the first time I saw it, but I remember watching it, and still that freaked me out. It's not all that scary of a movie, but
that's one of the best scenes in a horror movie ever.
It's the ominous feeling, and the feeling that it seems possible. Like it seems like that's
a lot of dread
could happen. And
it was awesome.
It's a very
I
believable
fucking love
horror.
that movie.
And especially when you realize the conflict is amongst the people, not necessarily when we learn on the wall.
That's been a theme for all of the Of the Living Dead movies. And
Right. But at that time,
But to be in that time in 1968 when that was a brand new thing,
and
would have been something very, very cool to experience. But even as a kid watching it, it was still fucking awesome.
And it's even going back, like, it's still awesome. Like, it was awesome.
It is still awesome, yeah.
It was awesome watching that Night of Anubis cut, like the scene where like you'd see like the film cuts, pretty much like how they pieced it together and made everything work. They unfortunately lost like the audio, the actual audio for it, but they tried to line it up with the regular version of Night of the Living Dead. But that's actually what they went off of. Like, that's like, okay, you see, we spliced this together here, and there was, I forget what the extra scene was that they added in there. But it was just cool seeing that. But you see a lot of flashing. But I haven't watched the HD.
I was really glad I got to see it in the theater the other night. That was pretty awesome.
That is a cool experience to have.
And then I'm like,
there was 6 people in the theater.
There was only 6 people in the theater.
Yeah,
only people there in Ohio. Ask my brother. Why weren't you there?
So, do you have a favorite subgenre of horror, or subgenre? Any at all, or you just kind of like them all?
Yeah, I really don't have like a problem with any of them. I'd say like the found footage is probably my least favorite.
Oh, I would say that, and I'm not a ghost person.
Yeah, I'm not usually a ghost person either. But isn't that what the new Netflix show is?
Yeah, but
and that's apparently like really good.
And the merit of the show is more for the family drama and psychological part of it more than the ghost story. The ghost story to me was secondary.
Okay.
Like the horror part of it was more secondary to the actual story of what the family has been going through for years. And
what's the name of the show before?
The Haunting of Hill House. That's what it is. And yeah, the story is more about it breaks up the show from present day to when they were kids to also like stuff in between too. I think that it wasn't like a perfect show. The end episodes got real. I felt like the last episode they drew it out way too far, and they got real corny. But in the end, overall, I enjoyed the show a lot, and I'm not one to start a show and finish it very quickly. And this one I did in less than a week, so that's actually that's my best praise for a show is that I watched it in less than a week. Whole season.
I definitely will check it out here soon.
I think you guys would like it. It's a relatively well written show. The ghost story,
like actual story, like scary moments to you, or
there were some tense moments, I would say. I wouldn't call them like and it got creepy. I wouldn't like some people say they had like a physical reaction to how scary it was, but they must not watch horror.
Yeah,
because it wasn't that bad, but it had its moments of like, oh shit, what is going on?
I will say my wife, like I said, I fell asleep watching, I guess, the first episode with her, but she did find the
no shit you did.
Of course.
She did find the first episode pretty creepy, but I don't think she's watched anymore, which
it's a good show. I think you should watch it regardless if you're a horror fan, to be honest. It's a good show. I'm assuming it's a one-off season. I'm hoping so. Because I don't know.
But that's not like Netflix. Netflix usually always renews for a second season.
If they want to milk it, I don't know what the fuck else they're going to do with it because they kind of told a complete story in one season.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Like Stranger Things.
All right. So that
I felt like that could have been one season and been perfect.
Yep.
All right. Anyway. Wait. So that didn't answer the question though. So what was
sorry. What?
The question you initially posed was
subgenre?
Yeah. So Brandon, what was your final? Because you said you don't.
He says he doesn't really have a
preference. I really honestly don't know.
So for me, I guess favorite subgenre would be like zombie. I guess would you?
You're a zombie man.
Okay.
And that's all based off Night of the Living Dead. Like I will get in arguments about zombies not running and everything. That's not, that's.
But like there was some pretty quick zombies in Night of the Living Dead too, though. Like that very first dude, like he
was pretty.
He was picking up rocks and smashing windows and shit. Like he was more alive than Walking Dead zombies are.
That is all right.
And that was Night of the Living Dead. That was 1968.
That is a tough one, and I guess people, if they actually paid attention, could call me on that when they see that. But I think it was just an experimental phase. Like I think he was
that's like the early days of zombie movies.
He was trying and didn't put like 2 and 2 together. Didn't say, oh well, okay, zombies aren't going to break windows in the cars. They aren't going to smash headlights out when they were smashing the headlights out of the truck or whatever. And then you see that as evidenced by
they were very smart at Night of the Living Dead compared to
what
they've become as the norm now.
They were almost fresh. It was almost like you were getting specimens.
Fresh.
Yeah.
But then when you progress Dawn of the Dead, you have it was almost more comedic, but you have the slow moving zombies and everything. And I think that's where they continued from, at least in the Romero timeline or universe, if you will, if you want to call it that. They've always been the slower thing. I like how when you get to Land of the Dead, they have progressed, like they've learned. And
I still haven't seen that one.
You've never seen Land of the Dead?
I have not.
You don't need to.
It's in terms of it's not the greatest movie, but I like what the concept was. Spoiler alert, it's not like an ending spoiler, but they've evolved, if you will, but that follows nicely off.
Zombies evolved. Yes.
Yeah, and that follows nicely off
the dead have evolved.
Day of the Dead. It kind of like it's that tie-in, like he spent all that time working with Bub in Day of the Dead to get him to learn different things and remember different things. And you see Land of the Dead, the opening scenes, you see like a band that was in like a courtyard, if you will, still playing they're doing it because it was like habit, it was like routine, but they have the instruments and they know what to do with them. They're not having like a full concert, but they're holding them and using them as you would use that specific instrument. But you see they're getting not smarter, if you will, but they're conditioned or trained, like they're learning different things.
Yeah. So like a zombie shouldn't be able to play an instrument.
It shouldn't, but when you watch like Day of the Dead and you see what the work he was doing with Bub, and you see how Bub starts, with the shaving, with the razor, with the headphones, and with the gun, and saluting and everything, when he finally realizes that you're a soldier and I was a soldier at one time, and I salute you. It's not necessarily a cognitive learning, more of a behavioral learning, if you will. So it's cool in that aspect.
Yeah,
I don't know where I was going with that, but zombie genre
couldn't tell you, man.
Is my
what else was on the rundown? We were supposed to talk about games, horror games.
Did we talk
about my favorite subgenre, by the way?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. sorry.
Is I think mine's more sci-fi horror.
Okay.
Like one of my favorite ones is Alien and The Thing and all that. So
yeah,
I think I would lean towards the sci-fi.
See, now I do want to go back to saying, because Brandon, you don't like, you said you don't care for found footage, and or both of you maybe even said found footage and or
I mean there are good ones, but for the most
they're
part,
few and far between.
They are few and far between, but I do enjoy that, just even for more fun. But when you do find a definitely good one that's
when you found the footage of a good one,
and I'll defend Blair Witch all day long, and nobody else fucking will. But I enjoyed Blair Witch when it came out. I liked that movie a lot.
When it came out, it freaked me the fuck out.
I was just posting that somewhere. I still can go back to Blair Witch and leave my knowledge of it being real or fake at the door and check all that and get lost in the movie still, and still
Yeah,
Mm.
I
not
agree.
necessarily freaks me out to where I'm looking around the corner or whatever, but it's very like I could watch like before I go hiking. If I watch it, it'd be enough to freak me out
Yeah,
if I'm camping at night and stuff. It's
that movie gets way more shit than it should.
no, they did.
Yeah.
It was one
Although it was responsible for the genre turning to nothing but found footage bullshit.
Yeah.
So it did do that. But
it was done well. The marketing at the time, because the internet
yeah,
still new at the time.
exactly. The marketing was fucking fantastic for that movie.
Like they pitched it like it was real, and
Mhm.
That was
I
smart.
remember going on
Yeah.
the shitty ass Blair Witch website.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
me too.
like it was awesome.
this has to be real. BlairWitch.geocities.com.
Hell yeah.
But no, it's one I can still go back to and still have that same feeling and still appreciate for
Yeah.
what it is and say, okay, I know this is real, I know, but I'm gonna put
Yeah.
myself back in that mindset and get lost in this movie and say, this
Yeah.
is fantastic.
And that's why, again, like time wise, like we had the VHS store, movie store, rentals and shit. But then also like towards the late 90s, I'm glad I was there for that shit too, because in the late 90s, like everything started getting re-released on DVD.
Mhm.
And there was Anchor Bay releasing like all of these cool like movies that you had never, or that I had seen in like Fangoria magazines, and now I was able to get. And that was a lot of fun too.
I would say up to the mid 2000s was like a good time for horror.
Mm-hmm. There used to be a time where, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, like I was at Media Play every Tuesday going through their new horror releases, like buying something new every week. And it was cool. It was fun.
Do you have a favorite horror franchise at all?
Probably Halloween or
Halloween.
Evil Dead.
Okay.
I fucking love Evil Dead too. Evil Dead's great.
Evil Dead is great. Yeah, there's no denying that.
I would say Halloween, because that's what me and my friends like really got into. And then I would say the Living Dead film, or the Romero
Yeah.
films. Like I love that timeline, but that definitely Halloween is our favorite, because that's the one as we were getting older and everything, because they were releasing like 4 and 5, and well, I should say 6. I think was the first one my friends and I went to see in the theater. So you're younger, so whatever year that came out, so I was probably that age plus 1. And I say that because usually it's at a year to that year, so whatever. You know what I'm saying, but that was fun because we were able to go.
Have you seen my cool Halloween 5 DVD that's autographed?
No, I haven't seen that.
Ooh, hold on.
All right. He's gone again.
But that, that's definitely like that. That also plays into going with your friends and being a goofball, but enjoying because you're there. Because we also saw a New Nightmare. We saw a couple of them.
Oh shit!
So that's the Halloween 5 DVD. It was Anchor Bay. It's a 10 one.
I'm pulling a brain and I gotta piss.
Do it.
Yo, how are you pissed? You tell me about this.
Make sure you can hear it.
And it's autographed. It says to Brandon, Don Shanks, Michael Myers. Don Shanks was the guy that played Michael Myers in Halloween 5.
That's awesome.
And I got it autographed at a.
Where'd you get the tin from? Where is that?
So this was from back in the day when I said like we went to Media Play like every Tuesday.
Is that
like this was, huh?
That Anchor Bay?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, there was
there, but like bunch of bonus features.
Yeah, there's all kinds of shit. There's and it's numbered too. There was 15,000 made, minus 4,968.
Yeah, I just have the same 5 really on DVD. Just because like I was just saying to my wife too, like I see these collectors on YouTube and I'd love to be them, but like I want to have the movie. Like as long as I have the movie, I don't care. Like it's on and like a physical copy of it. But that's pretty badass right there.
So you want to hear something I'm super like regretful about though, is that I got this autograph like probably in like 1999 or 2000 or so. this past year, me and my kid went to the horror movie convention, and the girl, Danielle Harris, was there. And my dumbass didn't think, oh, I should take this and get it autographed by her also. And now I'm like, I really screwed up on that one. That would have been super cool to have it autographed by both.
You know, the good thing about that is she seems like the person who does those cons every year.
Yeah, she's at every single con there is.
So it's not have an opportunity to,
yeah.
to get
That's
that.
what I was talking to Tyler about that the other day. I was like, why did I not take that and get it signed? And he's like, well, maybe she'll do another one. And I'm like, well, yeah, she does do like every single one of them. So.
I mean, I wouldn't wait. I would get it at the next opportunity you can, but it's not.
I will. I won't mess up. I won't miss that again.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was fun. It was really fun doing the DVDs back in the Best Buy era and the Media Play era. There was so much cool shit to get back then.
Go back to the store, but bro, I want to hear Scott's real quick. What's your genre, Scott? Did you say it?
You mean franchise?
Yes, sorry.
I don't know if I have one, to be honest. I mean, I guess the closest one that I've watched a million times. I'm a little younger than you fellers, so I don't know if it still holds up to me now. But the Saw franchise, it came out when I was like 16, so that really it was like when they were transferring back into the gore part of horror again, because the 90s became like this weird like teen horror kind of more tame comedy genre of horror, and then they kind of swapped back into like the serious more violent shit. And at the time, Saw really spoke to me as a youngin. Watching him now, I don't know if I find him as good as I did. But
yeah, that's one that I haven't gone back and rewatched either. Because I agree. Like, I mean, I was a little bit older, but it still like greatly affected me, and I thought it was like the coolest thing that had happened in horror.
It did a lot of good for horror. Even if the movie, like some of the movies were bad.
They definitely got bad. No doubt about it.
Like I remember number 5 and the 3D one being exceptionally shitty.
Oh yeah.
But if you've watched Jigsaw, that movie's even worse.
I have not.
That movie's a piece of shit. Don't watch it.
But the first couple of them were really good.
If it stayed as a trilogy, I feel like it would have stand the test of time in horror. But now I feel like it overstayed.
They ran it into the fucking ground.
It overstayed its welcome.
I think they got like caught up in the
every other fucking horror franchise though.
But
they had a solid few movies, and then they just like, you know what, we're just gonna keep this until people stop watching them. And now it just fucking sucks.
Well, because they are so fucking cheap to make, and they put them in the theater.
Exactly.
And you go out on date one weekend, and it's still profitable for them to make them. So they
can churn those out in a year because they don't take much to make at all. It's like 3 different sets, and that's basically it.
And I think too, with especially the Saw movies, it's like one of their big things was literally Halloween every year that they.
Yeah, that's what they did. They did that for 7 straight years. So you can't really blame them for milking it because it worked.
They could have put anything out, but people were going to say they could count on, there's going to be a new Saw movie on Halloween. It's that time of year. Let's go say it, regardless of what they're.
So, I mean, if I was going to go more classic, I'd probably say the Alien franchise, but.
Okay, that's fair.
So let's shift gears if we're going to keep the horror shit going. When you were talking about games, do you have like a franchise of games or that you guys horror games?
The early PS1 days of Resident Evil and Silent Hill was awesome.
Yeah, Resident Evil 1 is fucking, and 2
for sure.
3 wasn't bad. It was just like the randomness of Nemesis coming out.
Yeah.
Actually, 4 was a fucking great game, though.
Yeah. Resident Evil 1, 2, and Silent Hill. Like, I have like very good memories of sitting there in the dark with my buddy Mark and playing those and just being scared shitless. I loved them.
I saw that for the Switch, they're making Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 0 available next year in 2019.
Available digital or they're
probably both, I assume. No, I don't
I'm
know.
debating if
I didn't see. I assume it's going to be for it both. I mean, every game that they release is digital, but I'm assuming they'll also have hard copies of that.
The for horror games for me, I never beat the original Resident Evil or 2 or 3. I don't think
I didn't beat it either because they're hard as fuck.
No shit.
I think 5 is the only Resident Evil I've ever completed.
5 was not much of a horror game, but it was a good action game.
No,
It was still a good game, and it's super good co-op. Like the game gets shit on pretty hard, but I feel like it's really fun if you play with a friend.
Yeah, I'm trying. I guess for me, the Dead Space games.
Dead Space is super good.
The best.
Played those.
The closest horror.
I've only played the first one, and it is really good.
I played the one that they had on the Wii, and then they released on the PlayStation.
The rail shooter one,
which is fun. It's still scary.
I haven't played that one yet.
I think I beat 2 as well. I don't think I've ever finished the third one, but that first one,
the first one's the only one I played, and it is
creepy.
I started it again the other night before Red Dead came out, and now that's all I'm playing.
But it's definitely it was an interesting concept. I mean, one that may or not that we've seen done in movies and everything.
Yeah, it's an homage to like Alien and Event Horizon and shit.
Yeah, that whole like you silence and you're just going through and you don't know what is going on. Yeah. You're this lone person, and every 2 seconds stuff moving, not necessarily even coming out at that time, but hearing stuff.
Yeah.
The whole
essentially the Event Horizon, the game, kind of.
It was well done for its time and the technology that it was on, and I enjoyed playing that one.
Yeah, that one's a good game.
I would say Dead Space because that's the most like I've finished. I played other scary games, but I've never really gotten into them. So that's the only one.
The Left 4 Dead series is also goddamn fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Why is there not a new one of that?
I don't know, dude. It's been almost a decade since the last one. It's insane.
Those games were so good.
They were so good and really fucking popular.
Yeah. I don't understand why there's not another one of those.
Yeah, they deserve to be brought back.
Those were way better than Dead Rising, I thought.
I love
Dead Rising 3 was good to play co-op. That's it. By yourself was not fun.
I have 3. I've never beat 2 or 3.
I haven't beat.
I did beat the first one, but I enjoyed. They're just fun games to go back.
They're just they're just good to find weapons to murder zombies with.
Yeah, you're just killing.
But that's the essential part of the game. Like the story is ridiculous. There's not much to it as it is, and then you have like all these people you need to just like these psychos you need to kill basically. That's it. That's my Dead Rising.
Your Dead Rising horror game.
Yeah, I think that's all I got for that.
Yeah,
we talked a lot. What other things can we incorporate with Halloween coming up?
What's your favorite horror core? No, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I will say I just for the first time did see today Hocus Pocus, which is it's another
I haven't
one.
watched that since I was a kid.
That's another one I always see people I follow on YouTube and stuff, horror people, always mentioning Hocus Pocus and everything, and
people love that movie.
That's one that would be a good introduction to horror for. I think it's a safe, family friendly. Obviously, it's Disney. But it's pretty dark. I mean, Brandon, you've seen Hocus Pocus?
It's been a long time, but yeah.
But like, I was surprised.
I don't remember it at all. To be honest, I know I've watched it.
Well, we're sitting there watching it today, my wife and I, and it was like $4. I know they just released like the 25th like special editions, but again, like I said, I just want the movie. So she picked it up like $4 at Target. And in the beginning, they hang these witches, and like you see their feet dangling. And this is Disney, and this is something you wouldn't typically see in a
Dude,
Disney
people die brutally in Disney cartoons.
in the cartoons, but this is a real and it's pretty some pretty even like the humor and stuff, like to talk like the younger sister is talking about the older brother's like love interest, if you will, and it's like, oh, he loves your, what do you call him, yeah, like talking about her tits, and it's like, this is a Disney movie, like you're clearly talking about her tits in a Disney movie, and this is fantastic.
Titties.
It's definitely a good that's a good place to start for horror, like that you could easily push a kid and say, all right, you like that was a little freaky for you, now watch this, and gradually get to Saw 5 or the Human Centipede or something like that.
I got my kid to go to the haunted house with us the other night.
How'd that go?
Awesome.
Did you freak him out?
Yeah, the whole way through. Like, this is so stupid. Why am I doing this? I can't believe you made me do this. And he hated every second of it. And then we got done. He was like, "That was awesome. I love it."
Yep.
That's exactly how I would be. That you just summed that up exactly how I'd be.
It was cool. Having him along made the experience like better, just because it was fun watching him freak out.
I would hate it in the moment. That's exactly how I would be. I would hate it in the moment.
It's like one of the top rated ones in the country. It's scary as shit. So I applaud him for actually having the balls to do it, because he's not into that shit normally.
That's all.
It's good. It's good. I guess the last thing for horror before we wrap it up, is there any horror TV that you like? I know you guys both watched Ash versus the Evil Dead, but other than that, I should say,
I liked the first season of Stranger Things a lot.
Yeah, me too.
That was really good.
I still haven't finished season 2, and I don't know if I'm gonna.
It wasn't that good.
No, I wasn't into it. I tried so hard, and I just wasn't into it.
I have not finished watching season 2 yet. Again, I fell asleep. Part of it's my fault.
Well, yeah.
Like I
kind of just assumed that at this point.
I never.
When I was a kid, I fucking loved Tales from the Crypt. That was.
I want to watch those. I don't know if I ever watched a single one of those, but
yeah.
You know what?
Another one that I remember watching like a Saturday night at 1 a.m, trying for my mom to not hear me still be awake, and it was so scary.
Your damn mom, man.
Dude, my mom sucks. She didn't want me to watch anything. I had to hide it all the time.
She didn't let you live, man.
It's true.
Well, see, back then, we didn't always. I shouldn't say we didn't. We had cable downstairs, but like in my bedroom, in my formative years, I had the old knob TVs where you got 3, 6, 10, and then you get the UHF, some of the UHF channels. But you would definitely have to.
Weird Al. Sorry,
I'm still podcasting. Oh, okay.
We're almost finished.
Come on, Liz.
We're almost.
This is my last topic.
This will be the last time. But going back to that, but like, yeah, I remember like what did it was, I think no, it wasn't a Toby Hooper, but that Motel Hell, I think is a movie. I think I seen that in like PBS, but it was on like late at night. It was like a Saturday night. It was like you're just searching for something to watch. So like that was always cool, like finding that like hidden gem, if you will. But you know, I'm from the era, of course. I don't recollect them all, but I lived through Tales from the Dark Side. That was one of my favorite intros. If you ever YouTube that intro, Scott, are you even familiar with that, or is that?
I know what it is. Don't try to downplay me like that, you son of a bitch.
I'm not. I'm just saying because it was before your time, you know.
Yeah. Well, I also know what the Twilight Zone is, but that was before your time too.
That's true. But Tales from the Dark Side, like that intro itself was, I don't remember many of the episodes, but the intro itself always freaked me out when I was younger. Because that would come on like Saturday afternoon, like a random freaking time, along with like the Freddy Krueger series and the like.
I forgot they made a show of that.
Yeah, they made a show of that, but my like favorite. What was it? Did you say favorite scary TV show or just scary?
Well, like what are some of your
I would
favorites?
say, like, of course, Tales from the Dark Side. I don't remember the episodes, but just that intro is
You're
enough.
talking about Tales from the Crypt? Quit saying Tales from the Dark Side. That's a different thing.
No, I'm talking about Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah.
Google that. When you're done here, Google that.
I thought it was a movie. I don't think I knew that was a TV show.
It was a show.
Hold on, let's see.
More popular as a movie.
Real quick.
You were downplaying Scott, and I'm the one that didn't know.
Real quick, while we do this, because we want to test this, let's see for our audience how well this works.
Oh, we're gonna test
the sharing ability.
Well, while you're doing that, let me think of some horror shows. I guess I didn't watch a whole lot, to be honest. The most that I probably watched was season 2 of American Horror Story, and I guess The Walking Dead counts, but that's not really a horror show. And I gave up on that because that show sucked from like season 3 on. I'm sorry.
I'm a year or two longer than that, but
I stopped at season 6. The last episode of season 6 was the last thing I've seen of The Walking Dead, and I'll never pick it back up.
Was that before Glenn died?
That was when Negan showed up and bashed person that you won't see unless you come and watch season 7 premiere. I was like, fuck you, and I never came back.
Yeah. So I made it like a half season more than that.
Yeah, I was just done. I was like, that was bullshit.
Yeah.
You guys are fucking assholes for doing that, because it's like, that's not what a cliffhanger is. That's just you not having faith that people are going to come back and watch your show, and I'm one of those people. Fuck you, goodbye.
Yeah. It is just so bad now.
I mean, it got bad before that. I mean, I was already like, there were seasons that I was just like, I really don't want to watch this, but I was at the time dating someone that was watching it, so I was kind of forced into it. But then we broke up, and then I stopped watching it after I finished that season.
All right, let's see.
Anyway, you're trying to share something now, Smoothie.
Yeah, let me see if I can do this. Let's
see if you can get the power. Get the smooth.
So you're looking for torrents of Tales from the Crypt. I want to download the whole season.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm shocked they don't have it on HBO Go or HBO Now.
Are you guys seeing the screen?
I'm seeing your YouTube screen.
Oh, cool.
Oh God! Oh, you gotta turn that shit down, man. Better. I mean, it's cool sound, but the video is incredibly choppy.
Man lives in the sunlit world.
Oh my God, this is what Tech Nine did in that fucking Painted Dark Picture song, isn't it?
There is, unseen by most, an underworld, a place that is just as real, but not as brightly lit. A dark side.
So I know that intro because Tech Nine used that in a song.
Did he? I didn't know he stopped it.
What song? It's Painted Dark Picture, I believe.
But still, seeing that, like,
I'm Killer.
When you're I'll have to go back and listen to that on the way to work on Monday. But looking at that, like, that's pretty damn. When you're,
you know what that reminded me of? The Goosebumps intro. From the show Goosebumps. That was speaking of horror shows. That was a show I watched as a kid. And Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are you afraid of the dark?
Both of those are things that I watched as a youngin.
That was the shit.
Young buck.
I remember
that was such a damn good show.
I remember. I wish
I'm
they
sure
were
it's terrible now, but
no. I think
at the time, I'm sure it was great.
I watched that. To be honest, that was one that I was probably like 13 or 14 when that came out. Well, I would say 13. Definitely,
probably like 6 or 7.
I was playing. I played that came on Snick when it was Snick.
Yep.
Saturday night.
Yes. Yeah, it was Saturday
But
night.
with like what? Ren and Stimpy, all that, blah blah blah.
Yep.
There were like 4 shows.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I remember.
And my mom would watch that with me, and I remember that because I would, the last season I played for our local football team, we would watch that on Saturday night. But we played on Sunday. Our games were on Sunday, but that was my mom and I think we would sit and watch like the 4 hours or 2 hours, I guess, of Snick. You would sit there at the kitchen table, and that was like a good bonding experience. But Are You Afraid of Dark? I've always like thought that was just a great show. And wish they don't like sell it. Like you can't.
No, they just launched. Nintendo just launched their own streaming site, and you have to pay for it. But the complete Are You Afraid of the Dark is on there.
I'm pretty sure that's on VRV, which has like a network of those type of streaming shows, and that's $10 a month, and you can get like Crunchyroll and Funimation and other shit. I think that's also part of it, the Nickelodeon one.
Gotcha. Oh, wait, Brett, were you saying that their Nickelodeon actually has a streaming?
Yeah, they just launched their own
for all their old shit.
It has most things that you would want on there.
Does it have You Can't Do That on Television?
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I loved You Can't Do That.
Look it up, man. Look it up.
If it has You Can't Do That on Television and Pinwheel, show, I will be on.
Look it up, man. I'm pretty sure it's more of the popular Nick shows.
Pinwheel was the shit. Like that was
like Ren and Stimpy and Doug. And
all right, let's wrap this motherfucker, fellas.
All right. So bottom line, TV shows. I never finished my TV
shows.
Tales from the Dark Side was a creepy intro, but I will say I would just go back. This is only a few years back, and I wish they would have continued it. The River, it's on Hulu now, the full season.
I vaguely remember when that came out.
I thought it was a good show. I canceled after 1 season.
Wasn't that made by the dude that made Paranormal Activity?
Yeah, like it had him and somebody else. I forget. Somebody more popular worked on it, but I thought it was a well done show. And my wife and I enjoyed watching that one.
I've never watched the Paranormal Activity movies.
Oh, I love those. They're another one of my favorites.
I've had no interest in them. Anyway,
but we got
wrapping this shit
from the late '90s called Freaky Links.
I remember it. I don't know if I ever watched it, but I remember the name.
I don't remember it at all. Give me.
It was like a Blair Witch ripoff kind of thing. It had Ethan Embry was the star of the show.
TV show.
Yeah, it was on Fox. It was on like Friday nights, but I loved it. I thought it was a really cool show. It was pretty cheesy, but I liked it. I have it on my Plex.
All right, I'll have to get on your Plex.
I mean, it's probably not worth watching. I haven't watched it since.
1 season of Freaky Links, 2000.
Right. All right. Let's wrap this shit up. We've been going on for a long time.
It was good. It was good to be back.
Yeah.
For episode 19, I know you guys both did 18, which was supposed to be the Unknown Wrestling Podcast reunion, but turned out to be
I fucked that up.
Sure did.
The Unknown Podcast with a little bit of wrestling mixed in.
There was no wrestling at all. Talk.
There wasn't. I wouldn't expect anything different from the Unknown Wrestling Podcast. By the way,
that's right.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, you probably shouldn't expect anything from them.
But it felt good.
Hopefully. There may be another episode coming next WrestleMania. I'm sure.
Tiger wants to start a music podcast now. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll join that too. Whenever, if it exists. I'll ask him one question and I'll just derail the entire podcast for the entirety. Are you doing your Howdy Radio Next Generation ever again with your son?
Yeah, one of these days we will.
Okay. At least it's not a dead podcast. I was just checking to make sure you haven't like nixed it completely.
No. He got kind of bored with doing it. So
well tell him to stop being a little teenager and talk to his dad.
Tell him chicks love the podcast.
We'll get it going again.
Good to hear.
But
I'll looking forward to it whenever the hell that happens.
This definitely has been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was a good episode. I'm good with it, and I think we need to end it though.
Yep, good time.
I agree with that too.
Over 2 hours.
Yep, we're good here. So happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween. I can't guarantee next week will be happening, but
Here or not, but we hope to pick it up, figure it out, and get everything ironed out and running completely. And with that said, just real quick,
smoothly.
Brandon, where can we find you at?
At Captain Howdy 1027 on Twitter and Instagram and Vero and
Yes, Vero. Woo!
MySpace.
1027. It was that when we started. A happy anniversary to Brandon and his wife.
Yes,
Thanks.
happy anniversary.
That's where the 1027
years. Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
You said 16 years.
No, 17 years.
No,
Whoop.
She said
Fucking
16.
no, she definitely said 17 because I almost commented saying whoop whoop, but I didn't.
No, 16.
You gotta read the whole post. She worded weird in the beginning. She did, but you gotta read the whole post.
Oh, because I said we just did 16 last week.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
No, we said.
Oh, you and your wife. Okay. Anyway,
So
Smoothie, where can we find you?
you can find me at INC_smoothie on the Instagrams and Twitters, and INC Smoothie Entertainment on YouTube and wherever. On my website is INCSmoothieEntertainment.com.
When's the horror podcast coming out?
The horror? It's not just going to be horror.
Once Smoothie Entertainment
Podcast.
Yes.
Real quick,
Unknown Smoothie podcast coming out.
I am hoping to get that launched by the not beginning of the year, but by the end of the year. Hopefully, I'm working on it.
2019.
No, the end of this year, going into next year.
All right. I'm holding you to that, by the way.
Just if it doesn't happen.
I've already told you the first
liar.
I've told you the first episode, so now I just got to record it, pretty much.
All right.
So
do that after this. Just stop recording now and just keep yammering into your microphone after we're gone.
Oh no, I need to go to bed.
Fair enough.
And but Scott, where
find me at the garbage bin at on the Instagrams and Twitters.
Awesome. And you can find us all at the unknownpod.com.
.com and at the unknown pod on Twitter.
On Twitter. I think we don't have an Instagram account, do we?
No. Do we need to?
Yeah, why not? We should. We have a
it's all you, Smoothie. Go start that after
so
this.
Coming soon.
Give me the login.
And coming soon, unknown pod Instagram account. That is all we have for you this evening on this episode number 19 of the Unknown Podcast. We want to wish you all Dark Tower. Well, damn it, we didn't talk about that. We'll have to talk about that in the next episode.
No, we don't. We don't need to.
All right. Well, we will because I read the Dark Tower.
For episode 20, that's a big one, right? 20's.
Yeah, what are we going to do for that one? It won't be next week as far as I know. Unless you guys start it and I join in on the phone, I will be out of town.
We'll figure it out. It might not be next week, but it's going to be more consistent. But bottom line is, we'll figure that out later. We just want to wish you all a safe and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, you motherfuckers.
Don't need any candy with razor blades.
Get off my lawn. Eat the candy. Hopefully it's poisoned. Go to the hospital. Whoop, whoop, juggalo. Fuck off. Goodbye. Love you.
Don't drop kick anybody.
Do it.
All right. Word.
Brandon's just chugging his last